Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to join me as always, Xavier Guerrero, and on the ones and twos, Juicy Johnny Woodard.
Hey.
Guys, how are you?
It was a good one.
Good show.
We've been waiting
Good show.
for this.
Gary, the numbers, guys, you've been asking for, and we got to you. I hope you guys enjoy it. We went deep. We laughed. We cried. We had a good time. We asked a lot of questions, and we hope you guys enjoyed it. A little change of pace for you guys.
A lot of info.
A lot of info. Johnny loves numerology.
Dense. It's
Dense. A lot. We go
I do.
deep.
I like numerology. You always try to implicate me in
I don't mind
negativity, but
numerology. I like
love it.
numerology. I like astrology. I like all that stuff.
I'm
I can listen to some
I'm more with him on
gematria. I wish I
astrology.
would have asked him that. That's the only question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just never had a moment. Okay, guys, listen, I'm going to be in Mississippi. If you're anywhere near Mississippi and you want to see me rock a black club, come get weird. I'm in Jackson, Mississippi, June 2nd, 2 shows. Somebody buy a ticket, please. Let's go. And then June 3rd, do Baton Rouge. I'm loving you. You're doing great. Let's fucking go. Grab your tickets. Come on. 2 shows. So just go to samtripoli.com. Then I'm at the American Comedy Company in San Diego. Come join me, getting weird. Guys, we have, again, every video that I put out is on samtripoli.com. Okay. My premium content is there as well. I have 3 shows on Rockfin, everybody. 3 shows, Tinfoil Hat premiums, where I'm breaking down videos and all that stuff. It's a new thing I'm doing. And then I have Spiritual Podcast Zero. And then I have Conspiracy Social Club on there as well with Bryan, Callen. Those are there. The Cash Daddies Investment Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Cash Daddies. That's available there. Howie Dewey's crushing it in these crazy times. Go check that out. Daily investment tips. Tinfoil Hat t-shirts, just a great way to support the show. I'm getting sent shirts all the time. I only take the best. If you do make a shirt, I will send you a C note to say thank you. So go back one more time. So Tinfoil Hat t-shirts, or hit the banners. We have affiliates. These are affiliates of things I think you need in your life. Gold and silver from Wise Wolf, Aqua Cure, Hydrogen Brown Gas, and Harley Ray, crystals, candles, you name it, all there. Click the banners, use the promo code, get it going. And then we just added my good friend Joel Staley, who I am now on the fasting. I am doing the fasting again. I've only been doing a couple days. Already feel great. He can help you take you through it. It's a great way to lose weight, shed pounds, feel better about yourself. And he has his customers talking about how it helped him lose weight. We're talking people lose 75, 90 pounds in just a couple months, even 2 months. So go check that out. All my social media is there. I have a brand new social media. It's Sam Tripoli Comedy. Check it out. It's just for my stand-up clips, and I'm also going to put out a Instagram just for my podcast clips. I'm going to put them all there. Check them out. So go check that out. And all the audio you could ever want. I'm putting out so much content during the week. I'm going to be on a new show too, because I'm a crazy person. But there they are: Tinfoil Hat, Broken Sim, Conspiracy Social Club, Cash Daddies, Union of the Unwanted, which is doing huge numbers, 40,000 an episode, which is incredible. Then we also have Zero, and we have Punch Drunk Sports. I got to put new zeros out. Sorry, I haven't been doing that lately. Then go down every video you could ever want of what I do. Go down every video you ever want is all there available for you. There you go. I got to start getting some more of those, of Conspiracy Social Club. They're all there for you. There we go. So that's it. Anything else, guys?
I actually just got back from EDC. If you want to see the backstage footage of that, go to patreon.com. We don't smoke the same. It got crazy.
And we just dropped Broken Sim. Just came out. Check it out. It's in your feed right now.
That is the new date, too. Mondays are going to be the new dates for Broken Sim. So check it out. Enjoy this episode with Gary, the numbers guy.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink.
All right, guys, let's get into it. Everyone's been waiting for him. They've been saying, when you going to get him back on? And here we are. We battled the forces of evil, which is Mark the Booker, to make it happen. And we're in it to win it. Very excited to have him back. Returning champion. Got some votes for the Mount Rushmore when we did the big 500, and we're glad to have him back. He's been putting up some huge numbers. More numbers than Andrew Tate on TikTok. Please welcome Gary, the number guy. How are you?
I'm doing well, my friend. How are you doing today?
Doing great. It should be the numbers guy. Sorry about that. I took the ass off there. Brother, glad you're back. Glad you're on the show. We miss talking to you. People have been hitting us up going, when you getting Gary back, when you're getting Gary back, and we finally made it happen. So welcome. For those who may not be familiar with your last appearance or can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Yeah, no doubt. My stage name is Gary the Numbers Guy. You can call me Gary. It's whatever. When it comes down to it, I am the first numerologist who's ever been to the White House under the Trump administration. I was invited. I am pretty much the face of numerology. It doesn't matter if you believe in numerology or not. If they know one numerologist, it's going to be me. And this little group I founded, GG33, consists of about 3,000 people around the world now. And they're basically a group of numerologists, astrologers, and occultists. And when it comes down to it, there's only one universal language, and that's mathematics. And that's what I basically do. I break down the math at a level that most people don't look. It's not just 2 + 2 = 4. It's like, what is 4? Some people always see 11. Some people always see certain numbers. What are those numbers trying to tell you? Basically, numerology is what you would call the study of energy. We can't see energies. We can't see them. All right, some people can see auras. Most people can't. But we can basically understand what type of energies a person has based off their numerology. Example, some of the most charismatic people in show business are born on the 11th. Who's the top podcaster in the world?
Rogan.
He's born on the 11th.
Damn.
That's how it works. People born on the 11th have charisma. Another guy who's born on the exact same day as Rogan is a guy named Hulk Hogan. And boy, we know Hulkamania had charisma back in the day too. So, by the way, it's not just people born on the 11th. It's people born on the 29th. 2 and 9 is 11. Candace Owens came from absolutely nowhere, and now she's a big star. Why? Because she has that charisma factor. Alex Jones, the guy who basically started this podcast game, he's born on the 11th. So when you see the big names, and by the way,
wow,
it doesn't matter the age gap. Okay, because for instance, the older crowd knows Rogan, knows Alex Jones. The younger crowd knows Aiden Ross, and he's born on the 11th. So when it comes down to it, people with certain energy have certain abilities, and people born on the 11th have a lot of charisma. When you look at certain numbers, they give you certain abilities. But see, the people in power also know this. 9/11 happened on the 11th. First plane to hit the World Trade Center was Flight 11. New York City, 11 letters. Afghanistan, 11 letters. The Pentagon, 11 letters. The Twin Towers, side by side, look like an 11. Both had 110 stories. When does it stop being a coincidence? The 3 biggest attacks by Al-Qaeda, which was founded on August 11th, was number 1 in it was September 11th in America. It was July 11th in India, and it was March 11th in Madrid, Spain. A train bombing. So again, you see terrorists are doing certain things under certain energies because they want a reaction. terrorists like to terrorize. And on 11 days, people get emotional because people who have 11 energy tend to be emotional. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, both 11s. Extremely emotional people.
Yeah, I'm on the 28th. What am I, retarded?
No, 28's actually pretty good. Elon Musk is born on the 28th. So is Bill Gates. 28 is the number of wealth. So here's the thing, my friend. Not everyone born on the 28th is going to be extremely rich, but you look at the camera and tell people that this is true. Whenever you need money, some way it comes to you, and you think it's always in some dumb ways. I see the smile on your face.
Look at the smile.
Comes to you. So this is how it works. People who are born on the 28th, it's one of two things. They're either extremely rich, like Bill Gates, like Mr. Musk. We can talk about some of the richest companies in the world, like Apple's a 28. It was founded 4/1/1976, 4/1/1976, adds up to 28. It was founded by Steve Jobs, who was born 2/24 in 1955, adds up to 28. So Amazon had some of that energy. A lot of companies have that type of energy. Alibaba, when it comes to China, one of the biggest online retailers, it was founded on the 28th. So
is there any money going on the 18th? I'm really curious. So we got any money? On the 18th?
I'm sorry, that's not the same.
I'm over the money. How about health for the first?
Well, I'll tell you what. Since you're born, I'm assuming you're born on the 18th.
No, that was
That's
Johnny.
me. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so whoever's born on the 18th, this is your ability. You can adapt to anything. You can put yourself in a hood or in high class society. You will adapt to your environment, and you will do it very easily. Correct?
Okay. I would like to adapt to making a lot of money. Is that?
What's your birthday?
December 18.
December 18th. Your money's going to be up and down your whole life. Either you're going to have it or you're not.
I don't like that.
You're never going to be in the middle, brother. That middle class thing ain't going to be working. Either you're going up or down. Okay. Also, you're extremely karmic because 8 is the number of karma. Look at the shape of the 8. What goes around comes around. And I know you believe it. Because here's the thing about people who are 8s. You have to live a righteous life. I'm not telling you have to be religious. I'm just telling you have to live a righteous life, because if you do anything bad, it's going to come back to you like that. Other people, maybe in a year, maybe in 6 years, maybe next lifetime. You and every other person who's born in the 8th, 17th, 26th, or 8 life path, they get their karma right away.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I absolutely believe that, actually.
What about the first? Well, what's up with the people born on the first?
We're going right through this early. We're early into the discussion.
You guys got your prediction.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys got your prediction. I'm over here.
All right, I'm cool.
Okay, so you're born in the first.
Yeah.
People born in the first are extremely argumentative. Argumentative starts with A. A is the first letter. When you look at words like lawyer, first vowel A. You look at words like attorney, first vowel A. What do? They argue A, the law A. So people who are 1s are what you would call people who are a little bit more on the argumentative side. Does that make sense to you, sir?
Yeah. I'm on a podcast. I don't shut up. I'm not saying
it is what it is. People who have your type of energy learn things the hard way too, don't they?
So Gary, here's the whole thing. Like, I love this discussion. I love having these discussions. If you were going to ask me, Sam, what's your religion? Well, I'm spiritual. If you had to put it, I like Christian mystic Jedi. That's what I'm really into. I love Jesus. I love energy. I think, and I love having these discussions with you, because like what you're talking about is, to me, like hidden knowledge that isn't out to everybody. I sometimes wonder if the crowd gets upset, some of the listeners, because I know we have some very, very staunch Christian listeners who might not appreciate some of the stuff we talk about on the show. But for me, man, it's just like, we all know they've been lying to us about our history. I have no problems with Christianity, Judaism, Islam, any of those things. But what I do have an issue with is what these organized religions have been telling us, and what has been deemed acceptable knowledge and what has been hidden and demonized and called taboo.
This is heresy. This is heresy, no doubt about it. I would have been burned at the stake about 300 years ago.
Yeah.
We don't live in those times anymore, though, so that's the good part.
So I think people need to understand where this show comes from. Our point of what we like to do on the show is, like, we like to dig a little deeper to see if we're being lied to. And that's all it's about. Now, if you have certain beliefs and all that stuff, this show is not here to tell you what you believe isn't real or isn't important or to dismiss it. We're just like, here's some information we discovered. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, don't. We walk the earth. We're people who put out positive energy. We love people. We love to protect children. That's really what we're all about. That's it. And so these discussions to me are so interesting because it's like, why was the numerology kept from us? Why is it hidden? Why do they make you think it's heresy and all that stuff? That to me is the interesting conversation. I hope you enjoy us going on. So that's all I really want to get out. So let's get into numerology. What when you really break it down, what are we talking about here? Because when I think of numerology and numbers, I go, this to me fits into like the matrix and everything is binary numbers and all this stuff. And it's like, again, the only truth out there, without a doubt, you can never, no matter how much they try to tell you it's not real, is math. Math is it. Numbers are it. There's no feelings when it comes to math and all that stuff. It's here are the numbers. They can manipulate the presentation of it, and you see them do that with a lot of stuff. But like numbers are like it's either right or it's wrong. What are your thoughts on all that?
Well, when it comes to organized religion, they might have something against astrology. There's things written in the old books about astrology, but not too much about numerology because there's numbers all over the Quran. There are numbers all over the Bible. There are numbers all over the Torah. So when it comes down to it, numerology and the holy books, they actually have nothing that says this is evil or anything like that. They do try to make that argument with astrology. So let's cover that first. Let's say you're the elite and you're in a position of power. Information leaks like water. Information is always going to leak. So if you know information is going to leak, you got to run psyops. And psyops will run like this. Okay, I know astrology and numerology works, but we have to basically make it look like a joke. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the astrology section by the comics in the newspaper. So people think it's subconsciously a joke. Then we're going to have a whole bunch of women who've been divorced 3-4 times go on there and basically tell people what is a good relationship. You actually have people who've been divorced 3-4 times calling themselves numerologists and astrologers who are actually giving people matchmaking advice. To me, that's kind of fraudulent.
That's hilarious.
If it didn't work for you, why the hell is it going to work for anyone else? The other problem is most people only look at numerology at a surface level. They don't really deep into it. So what I'm going to do today is, since you're born on the 28th, I'm going to give out a wealth hack a little bit later on in the program, and I'm going to show people how to actually use this energy to actually enrich yourselves. Because this is exactly what the elite do, and I'll be sharing some of that information on your show later on. I don't want to give away the prize at the very beginning.
Yeah, I love it.
We'll get there.
We'll get
there. So when it comes to numerology and the Bible, Jesus Christ died at 33.
Yeah.
Why did he die at 33? And by the way, GG33, it's tattooed on me. So when it comes down to it, 33 is the number of influence. People throughout history have had that number, have been extremely influential. Albert Einstein, the Wright brothers, first in flight, Thomas Edison with electricity, Dr. Joe Naismith invented basketball. Think about this. How many games in the world have been invented with a ball and some kind of contraption to go into it? And this guy, Naismith, invented basketball, and now it's around the world. Why did it work for him and the others? Because he was a 33 life path. So when it comes down to it, even religion uses this information because Jesus, unless I'm mistaken, is the most influential dead man in the world. So when it comes down to it, the reason he's so influential is because the number was placed on him, 33. The Freemason order goes up to 33 degrees. That's not a secret society, but it's a society with secrets. So again, the top of the pyramid in that organization is 33 as well. And I like to point one thing out. At 32 Fahrenheit, water is still frozen. At 33, it becomes liquid. So it basically shows you once you reach that 33 level, you basically become enlightened.
All right, guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our friend James McMahon and Copy My Crypto. Let me tell you about copymycrypto.com. Listen, everybody, we've seen so many people making ridiculous money in crypto, but did you know it's easy for you to do the same? The Copy My Crypto membership site shows you the coins that YouTuber James McMahon personally holds and allows you to copy him, okay? It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know anything about crypto or how to invest. You simply do what he does. So let me tell you about James. He runs Crypto with James YouTube channel, which despite heavy censorship has over 26,000 subscribers. Since 2020, he's told his viewers to buy 26 crypto coins. Had you put in $100 into each one, it went on to be worth $120,000. Of the 26 coins, his top pick of the year, a coin called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said. That one call retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is all public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify for yourself. So if you'd like to join the 2,800 members who copy James, then stop what you're doing right now and head over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You'll not only find proof of everything I've said, but my listeners gain full access for just $1. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/TFH. The recession is here, guys. You can suffer like everyone else or choose to thrive. James is a real deal. Go visit his site now. It's very interesting because, on this show, we talk a lot about how they've inverted everything, right? So what the elites have done is, so now when we study psyops and all that stuff, we do look for numbers, and in particular, we look for the number 33. We look for 33 as a sign of, okay, this could be an intelligence deep state operation. Do you think they do that on purpose? Do you think that they take these things and demonize them so people don't? I get a lot of trouble for talking about this too, about with the people who are like really attuned to looking for symbolism. I go, they've inverted all this stuff so that we run away from it instead of running to it. Like, what are your thoughts on all that?
Well, I believe they purposely. You can't have a paper trail. You can't actually email people and be like, "Yo, on this day, if you're the elite, this is going to happen," because it's going to leak. So what they do is they tell people, okay, this is the code to look for, and the code is certain numbers. So when that bank that collapsed, that was one of the biggest bank collapses in American history in March.
SPV?
Yes, STV. The address of that main bank had 303 on it. So the people in the knew that was going to happen ahead of time because they knew what to look for. It was the plebs like us that weren't allowed to actually know that information. So again, everything out there is hidden in plain sight. I'll give you some examples. 13 is a big number in numerology. And it's a big number for the Illuminati. I'm sure that's no name that you haven't heard on this show before. They actually prefer to call themselves the Babylonian Brotherhood. But when it comes down to it, there's 13 bloodline families, and the Rothschilds on the top of the pyramid. Then you have the other ones like Rockefellers, Lees, and stuff like that. But here's the point. They demand homage from their subjects, and they do it in a hidden way. You go around, you see McDonald's all over America, all over the world, and they have that big golden arch. Now, they're going to tell you, okay, because the guy's last name was McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. But why did they make that M so big? Because M is the 13th letter. And again, that's a hidden way of paying homage to the Illuminati masters. There's a team called the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, a logical person who doesn't know any information with this will say, oh, I understand why Philadelphia is called the 76ers. It was because of 1776. That's when America was founded. The truth is they're not called the 1776ers. They're called the 76ers because 7 and 6 is 13. Another example, San Francisco, 1849 gold rush, very famous. A logical person would be look at the 49ers and be like, So when it comes down to it, the 49ers are called the 49ers because the 1849 gold rush. That's what a logical person who's been through the matrix of schools and its education system would think. But the truth is 4 and 9 is 13. So again, they put these hidden things in there. Go to look at these movies. Oh my God, how many movies are called start with the number 13, the 13th Warrior, the 13th Floor, Ladder 49. It goes on and on and on. They're paying homage to their masters. And again, in a very hidden way. So unless you understand how to actually decode things, you're never going to see this. And that's the whole point. They're paying homage without the plebs actually seeing what's going on.
So do you think how down far down the ladder do you think this goes? Do you think that let's say I write a story, right? And I'm like, I'm going to do a story about a wacky panda, that just is is karate and and then I go pitch it, and then they're like, well, we would like to call it the clan of the 33. Like, who comes up with that? Do you think the writer does that, or do you think
No. I think it's the people who supply the money. They basically like, listen, we need this in the movie. Don't ask us questions why.
Interesting.
They don't.
What do you think of that, Johnny? Because you did, I know you're not a script writer, but like, did you ever, when you were doing newspapers, ever hear like, hey man, we got to put this in there or anything like that?
No, nothing like that.
But I think he's right on that. I do think it's like, I mean, we see that with like woke shit, right? Where it's like, hey man, we need the sidekick to be a biracial trans activist, and you're like, well, it doesn't really make sense. Well, but you want to make this movie, we need that character.
Well, in Hollywood, I mean, they just have flat out quotas for that kind of stuff. I mean, that's not even hidden.
But it's
like
forced in the story, right?
On CBS, like have to be, what is it, half people of color?
Right,
half.
But
it's not representative at all.
Could you see them going, hey man, we need this number put into this thing if we?
No, I mean totally in newsrooms you get leaned on to change the angle, or to. But the most of that happens in the stories they pick. It never even gets to that point. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the stories they pick to even send the writer to go kind of track down. That's where the bias happens.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. When COVID-19 started, on February 11th, 2020, they basically named COVID-19. Did it on the 11th, and then on March 11th, the World Health Organization said it's a real pandemic. So again, they did it twice on 11 days. You have to understand, if you start looking at history, you'll see this pattern. It with the big events, it's always there. And, when it comes down to it, you just have to look through history. You have to enjoy history, because if you look at history, you'll find your evidence. Oklahoma City happened 4/19/1995. Let's do the math together. 4/19/1995 adds up to 38. 3 to 8 adds up to 11. So again, you see the biggest events, terror events in U.S. history have the coding. They always put it out there because the people in charge believe in this. Again, it doesn't matter if you believed in this. It doesn't matter if I believe in this. None of that matters. The people at the top of the game, they believe in this. The people who are printing the money, they believe in this. So logic would tell you, if the top of the food chain is following stuff like that, and the evidence is there because of the dates they do stuff on, well, maybe there's something to this. And, maybe instead of the people being critics, they should actually look into it. Again, if you're into the Bible, there's numbers all over the Bible. If you're into the Quran, numbers all over the Quran. As a matter of fact, the Muslims have 33 beads they go like this with. It's part of their religion. Again, the number 33. You'll find that in every single religion there is. That's how the game works, because numerology supersedes everything. Numerology and astrology is basically psychology on steroids. And again, I've offered $1 million challenges to Jordan Peterson. Flat out. I will prove numerology is stronger than psychology. We can take 20 random people. He can actually talk to them for 5 minutes. I don't have to. I just need their birthday. I'll be blindfolded. I won't even see what they look like. And the bet is I'll be more accurate when I read him like a book than he will with his psychology. And what the people decide, I'm willing to put up $1 million right now. And people will not do it because they'll start calling me a mentalist. They'll start saying it's a cold reading. The fact of the matter is this. This is a virtual reality. And the only real language in this virtual reality is numerology and mathematics. And by the way, the English language is coded within the numbers themselves because A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. I'll give you an example. 28 is the number of wealth. I put that out there many times. So guess what? They use it in a hidden way. Berkshire Hathaway, that's Warren Buffett's company. Now, Warren Buffett is not a 28, but he has a hidden way of putting the 28 in there. What are the initials of Berkshire Hathaway? BH. B is the second letter. H is the eighth. Again, 28. It's all hidden in plain sight. So if you know what to look for, all of a sudden, you start understanding how this world actually works. Astrology, there's so many different types of astrology. Western astrology, Vedic astrology. And the fact of the matter is, most of the people who are the practitioners of astrology are not very good at it. Because if they were, they wouldn't be broke. If they were, they wouldn't be divorced 3-4 times.
Is there a big difference between numerology and astrology?
Yeah, numerology is supreme. Astrology is like a good sidekick. You know, if one's Batman, the other one's Robin.
Hey, Gary, do you remember, have you ever heard of this guy named Walter Mercado? He's an astrology Mexican guy that used to go up on TV all the time. And I'm wondering if that was part of the psyop to make astrology look crazy. It was this guy, and he would go on and all the
That's a dude?
Yes, and he would go on and your mom would listen to him. He's about to say my horoscope, and your mom would tell you to shut up, and it would come on the news, and they would make him look just like this, like weird kind of crazy person. This was in the early 90s, so you saw him on TV, and you're like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
Yeah. I could imagine that's a psyop. I'll give you another one. Back in the 50s or 60s, there was a popular psychic that was on TV back then, and she would basically predict people's deaths, right?
Oh,
and it was all basically a hoax because they would predict that something would happen to a major figure, and then some kind of intelligence agency would take the guy out, and the psychic was like their cover.
Whoa.
Oh, the psychic predicted this would happen. So those are little things.
That story?
That stuff happened. That was about maybe in the 50s or 60s show like that, and I'm telling you. They have psyop society. I mean, they got psyops on psyops. It's absolutely ridiculous. But if you understand how the people in positions of power work, money is not of value to them because they actually print the money.
Yeah.
What is of value to them is information and disinformation. Disinformation wins wars. Disinformation is what keeps the poor people poor. Disinformation is what keeps people on the top on top. Because let's face it, guys, if people actually understood what the Federal Reserve does and what the Federal Reserve did, then they'll be marching against the Fed instead of for so-called trans rights and all this other garbage that's going on. That's just a fact. And, people ask, where is all this coming from? Where are all these trans and everything like this? Where is this coming from? Well, straight propaganda. Well, let's start with who started all of it. I believe it was Bruce Jenner.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he switched his name to Kathleen Jenner. Whatever. It's pointless. But before he made that switch, a lot of people don't know this. He was in a car accident and he actually killed somebody.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, someone went up to this guy who had some juice and be like, listen, you're going to go away to the prison for a long time for this. Or you can put on a dress, make a lot of money, and basically set up your family for life. All you got to do is put on this dress and be a trans. I think he took the deal.
Well, 100%, there's a dark occult magic with that family. All the symbolism, not just of numbers, but the symbolism in everything they do, the black, the white, it's all witches stuff.
Again, black. If you write black on a piece of paper, B equals 2, L equals 12, and you go all the way down, it adds up to 11. If you write white, it adds up to 11. That's why you always have that white black checkered board with the Freemasons because it's actually not black and white. It's 11 and 11. That's what, and again, 11 is an emotional number. That's why that race issue in particular, black and white, is the most emotional around the world. I mean, they have race issues with a whole bunch of different races all over the world, but it's that one that gets the most of the attention because 11, 11. You just got to know how to decode things.
And it's super duper crazy what they do too. It's like it's just like all of these. No, I mean the number 33 shows up all the time. All the time. 33 million people died, 33 million people dead, 3 million people. I mean, like 33.
I mean, during COVID, wasn't there a whole like 33 people? It was always a 33 people are dead, 33 people in the hospital, 33.
Yeah, if you have that, pull that up so that people can actually see that on the screen. So here's the point I'm trying to make. Remember when I told you these people actually put codes out there so they can understand what they're talking about, but the general public would think it's just a coincidence? That's an example of it. 33 everywhere, 33 everywhere. So when these people actually saw this coming up, they knew what was about to happen. They knew something was about to happen where everyone else, not so much.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. And you get into Aleister Crowley. Like, I just think there's just this whole thing where it's like they've created all of this, like Satanism is just like something I just think is a giant psyop to get, to make nerd dorks feel cool and try to impress
I agree.
fat goth chicks. And, it's just like all that stuff is just, and they just use it to demonize stuff so you don't look into it.
It was 322 was the COVID number that kept popping up.
322?
Yeah, it was
a 322. Oh my God.
322 is Skull and Bones. That's that Yale University. They pick 15 members every single year. And by the way, DeSantos is one of them.
All right, guys, I want to tell you about our friends at Manscaped. Listen, friends, family, loved ones, I bet you haven't purchased a Father's Day gift yet, okay? Well, have you? Well, not to fear. The leaders in the below-the-waist grooming are here. I am talking about our friends at Manscaped. They're saving the day yet again with the total package for your father figure in your life this year. It's time to upgrade his game from waist to face with an exclusive offer. Have him join the 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code tinfoil at manscaped.com. Listen, dude, I love it. You know me. I've talked about I got 6 inches of fire. I manscape it down. I look really good. I get 6.5 inches, maybe if I'm lucky, okay? Maybe if I'm lucky. If you're a guy in that range, you got to shave it down. It's important to shave it down. You got a guy over here with a Mr. Snuffleupagus. It's not a good-looking junk. Let's be honest here. So you got to trim it down to make it presentable.
That makes it a little better.
Trim it down.
Trim it down.
If she's going to fight Mr. Snuffleupagus, she wants to look at something that is decent, well-groomed. And Manscaped is the best at that. Okay.
Nobody wants to stuff their nose into just a foliage,
Nobody
bushes.
wants to go into Safari Deep. What is this? Jumanji? Enough of that. Shave it down. And let's start with your ultimate Father Day MVP, the Performance Package 4.0, okay, the signature lawnmower trimmer, brand new weed whacker 2.0, a nose hair trimmer, crop preserver, ball deodorant, crop review toner, performance boxer brief, and a travel bag to hold all the goodness, okay? And we can't forget the moneymaker. Manscaped has absolutely changed the game with their new Beard Hedger Pro Kit for fathers around the world. Bow, 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 bow. Includes the Beard Hedger trimmer, beard shampoo, conditioner, beard oil, beard balm, and 2 free gifts with their signature beard comb and accessories. And man, it's amazing. So here's what we want you to do. You're going to get 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code tinfoil at Manscaped. That's 20% off with free shipping and at Manscaped.com. Use the code tinfoil. Make this Father's Day one he won't forget with Manscaped. What are your thoughts on Trump? What are your thoughts on DeSantis? What are your thoughts on Biden?
When it comes down to Trump, I believe he's being propped up. As soon as they, started that case against him, his numbers went way up. And I think that was all done on purpose. I think if Trump's the Republican nominee, I think he'll probably get his ass handed to him by Michelle Obama, who's most likely going to be the Democratic nominee.
Whoa.
Now the question gets into...
Now, here's the thing. If you really want to think about it, Biden is basically or was a puppet of Barack Obama. So from the day he took office until April 24, 2023, he worked for Barack Obama. But on the 24th of April of last month, Susan Rice left the Biden administration. Susan Rice was the handler for the Biden administration, all the people in there. So when she left, that means they broke ties. And Biden announced his reelection the next day on April 25th. So they basically broke ties. So right now, what you're going to see is Obama, who's in charge of the DNC, Obama, who's in charge of the deep state, Obama, who's basically got his hands. He's going to start releasing stuff on Hunter Biden. He's going to start releasing stuff on Biden. He's going to force this guy to either renege on running again or step down. Now, Biden is in a tough spot because he's like in a gilded cage. He knows as long as he's president, he can protect his criminal enterprise. He can protect his son, Hunter. But as soon as he's not president, they're going to go after his ass. So he's basically worried about his son. And this is where the Clintons stepped in. The only people who can defend in the Democratic Party can defend people against the Obamas are the Clintons. And the Clintons got their asses whipped by the Obamas in 2008. The Clintons got their asses whipped by the Obamas in 2016. Most people don't know this, but the whole point is this. It was Obama who made Trump president. It wasn't actually,
What?
No, I want you to think about this. If Trump lost 216, that means Clinton's the president, she controls the DNC, and she controls the deep state. She lost. How does this benefit Obama? Because as soon as she lost, they cleaned house at the DNC. Obama took the whole thing over. And ever since Trump won, he's been the leader of the Democratic Party without question. Before that, they had a deal in 2008, Obama and Clinton. And basically the deal went like this because Obama outmaneuvered her. She thought she was going to be president. He got outmaneuvered. Either person was going to beat McCain and Romney in 2012. That didn't matter. But when 2016 came, the deal was Obama was supposed to support Clinton. Well, he did publicly, but behind the scenes, he did everything to destroy her. That wasn't Russia that was leaking information about the Clintons. That was Barack Obama who was doing that. And by the way, there's never any dirt about Barack Obama that comes out. Never any dirt about him. He's squeaky clean. He sends $1.5 billion to Iran, cash. What do you think he's doing that for? He's getting kickbacks.
Like the worst thing is that his wife's got a dick. That's not even that bad.
Well, that's the whole thing. They think a big part of this trans shit is to get people so used to trans that
one day they just say, you know what? Guess what? Michelle's got it.
I actually interviewed Malik Obama last week.
Yeah, what is that guy's story?
So Malik basically showed me pictures of Michelle in 1992 when he was the best man at Barack's wedding, and I'm going to tell you, she looked like a woman, and she honestly looked like an attractive woman. There's no way that person became what they are now. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I understand people when they get older, they might pick up some weight, but I mean, if you look at pictures of Michelle, I mean, she looks like she can,
beat up Obama. She can beat up Obama. Yeah.
If I had to fight one of the Obamas, I'm definitely going.
For
Trump.
Sure, bro. I've never even thought about that.
I don't want nothing to do with Michelle. But the fact of the matter is this: Michelle Obama is going to be the Democratic nominee unless something changes, and she's most likely going to be the president. They want Trump to run again. Because so many people hate the guy, it's going to be very, very difficult to get him elected, even though I do believe the election was stolen from him last time.
So I didn't quite understand what you were saying about her.
Crazy,
Are you saying that do you think they switch bodies, or do you think she's probably a woman?
what is in there right now obviously isn't what they want people to think it is, because Joan Rivers said that was a transsexual and she got killed within a week. Okay. So you connect the dots there. It's like, okay, but that woman that they showed me pictures of in 1992, 1993, that was undoubtedly a woman. Okay, and again, an attractive woman. Okay. So again, whatever happened between that time frame, I don't even know if that's the same person.
Got it. It part of it makes me think that this is something they want to seed in the conspiracy community now, so that when she runs for office, it's the thing that we're distracted by, instead of
and then they'll come out and prove that she's a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everyone got psyoped. And again, remember, Trump and Obama were going back and forth with that birth certificate. Remember, the first person who said President Trump was President Obama in 2011 at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So again, this was all a setup. This is all a way to prop this guy up. When Trump was running in 2015 at the very beginning, he was not the front runner. Jeb Bush was. But what happened? Barack Obama kept mentioning his name. He kept mentioning one candidate's name, and that was Donald Trump. So he basically propped him up. Think about it. If you're famous and you hate me, and you have a whole bunch of haters, all your haters are coming to me if you're going to be talking shit about me nonstop. They're thinking, oh, this guy's might be all right. So I believe he was basically used to get rid of the Clintons. And then when the Clintons were out the picture, the election was stolen from him to put this guy Biden in. What happened?
Go on.
Biden is actually turned on his master on, again, April 24th of this year. So I expect within the next 18 months, there's going to be criminal investigations opening up by Congress. There's going to be leaks. There's going to be all sorts of stuff about Hunter Biden. And it's not like what we heard before. They're going to start taking action. They're going to start going after it. The last thing I'm going to say about the Clinton and Trump election in 2016. 3 days before the election, James Comey reopened the email investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. Yeah, that cost her the election right there. You think that guy would actually do that on his own, knowing that the Clintons put people in the ground? Do you know how many bodies the Clintons have put in the ground? He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that by himself. James Comey isn't an FBI guy. He's a freaking lawyer who got appointed to that position. What happened? He got assurances from Barack Obama that nothing would happen to him. And nothing did happen to him. So that's the thing about Obama and his brain called Valerie Jarrett and whoever's behind Obama, Rothschild or something like that. He makes sure his people are protected. No one within the Biden administration, no one within the Barack Obama administration has ever went to jail. I believe the attorney general, I forgot his name, he basically they had his subpoena to go to Congress, and he avoided it. Nothing happened to him. But if anything like that happened to a Republican, they're going straight to the can. So when it comes down to it, Barack Obama protects his people. Barack Obama, you don't hear about too many scandals, even though Fast and Furious, Solyndra. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Barack Obama has a big ally, big time ally. And that ally just bought Twitter.
Ooh.
Elon Musk.
Yes. So here's where Elon Musk comes in. Have you noticed that Elon Musk is very anti-Biden with his tweets? He just goes after this guy nonstop. All the Twitter reports that got released, Biden's the bad guy. Biden's this. Biden's that. Everything Twitter has released is basically negative against Biden. Obama, his clans are clean. Squeaky clean.
Yeah, it's really weird.
No, it's not weird. If you look at Musk, he's basically praised one guy over and over and over. That guy is Barack Obama. Just start doing some Twitter searches. All he does is praise Obama over and over. So why does he do that? In 2010, when Obama was president, Tesla got a loan, about $500 million. Now, they repaid it. They did all that. But without that money, Tesla is dead. Tesla is dead if he doesn't get that money from Obama. Obama gave it to him. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Obama, obviously, it wasn't his money, but he was the president. He had to sign the bill, all that good stuff. If Obama doesn't do that, Musk is not Musk. So everything Musk has, he kind of owes to Obama. So you best believe Musk is going to do everything in his power to pay homage back to the guy who saved his ass.
Damn.
And that is Barack Obama.
Super interesting.
People just got to connect the dots. The dots are all there. And again, I'm not saying anything negative about Musk. I want you to understand something. When it comes down to it, the Clintons were the far worse evil when compared to Barack Obama. The Clintons would have most likely started the war to make as much money as possible. I mean, think about how corrupt the Clintons were. They had the Clinton Foundation, and it was taking donations all over the world for money, right? And they were taking up to $300 million in 2016. Now, 2017, when she lost, it goes down to like $5-6 million. So obviously,
dude,
it was a slush
crazy,
fund.
right?
Yeah, it was a slush fund. But see, Barack Obama is so much smarter than these people. So much smarter than these people, because the Clintons stole all that money. Everyone knows they stole it. Even the Democrats know the Clintons stole that money. But see, Barack Obama, he's smarter than that. He doesn't do stuff like that. What he does is he sends $1.5 billion to Iran, and he gets a kickback of 40 to 60% of that money. He's much smarter than the Clintons. So when the Clintons get caught up and everyone knows they're criminals, Obama's still looking squeaky clean. Again, that song by Michael Jackson, Smooth Criminal.
Well, you get into it. It's like, it's very interesting what you're saying about Obama. A lot of people think he's the actual president, not Joe Biden. Shadow president. And that, it's like, if you're totally right about, I mean, like, we've had people on our other show, and I talked about this on the Joe Rogan Experience, about how Hunter Biden was talking to anybody that would smoke crack with him. That the whole plan was to throw his father under the bus to put Camilla Harris in. And every day I go, wow, looks like that's totally happening. And it looks like to me, there's also an aspect of demoralization that they do not want you to think you have any say on who runs anything. And when she bottomed out as the lowest of the low in terms of polling, and now she could be president when nobody, including her own party, wanted her. Wow, what a great way to buck break the nation, huh?
Like Dick Cheney. It's just like Dick Cheney. They wanted him in power, and he was the president while George Bush was there.
100%. But even like Dick Cheney is just an extension of George Bush's father. It's all George Bush death cult. Yeah. And Obama is an extension of George Bush as well.
So, but how do you get rid of Kamala Harris? How do you just act like the VP that's black or that's a female is just not even gonna run?
She's just
Harris is basically the Clintons' piece in the White House. That's what they got. The Clintons and Obamas, even though they're against each other, they got to cut little deals. And the fact of the matter is, Camilla Harris, that's one of their people. So that I basically believe right now, Camilla Harris is going to look like she's more in charge than Biden, because Biden has to run for the Clintons for help. And one of the deals is probably you got to empower Camilla.
Dude, that's
I gotta say something. How sad for women that a person of Camilla's moral character actually made it to the White House.
Well,
there are so many
demoralization.
If you want to pick a woman, Condoleezza Rice, even though I don't like her, Susan Rice, Obama's national security advisor.
Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard's great. Gabbard.
These are women who actually, have some charisma, have some intelligence. Camilla Harris made it basically sleeping with the mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown. That's how she made it in politics.
Don't forget Montel Williams.
Oh yeah, Montel Williams before then.
That's why.
She slept her way to the top. She literally slept her way to the top. Is that the example that women need to see when it comes to gaining power? Because that's basically what Cleopatra did.
Here, that's exactly what it is. It's all about demoralizing women. Like, look at this chick. She's the DNC town bike. She was Montel Williams' side bitch. And, everyone's rode her. And now look where she is. I mean, like, dude, was she doing something where, like, the sign of a powerful woman, she wanted everyone to wear a pearl necklace? You're like, that's 100% sexual move,
So funny.
right? I mean, and this is all done to demoralize. That's what it's all about. She's dumb. She doesn't say anything smart. She sounds like an idiot every time.
Just laughs.
And then this video just came out. Now she's looking like she's high on something. I mean, all that's done on purpose. It's all cultural Marxism.
She was so incompetent. They had to sideline her as the VP. Like, she wasn't even fit for VP duty.
Yeah. So they're like, now you got dumb. Now you got even dumber.
You think same thing with AOC?
Hold on 1 second. I want to show you how the game works, though. At the very beginning of the Biden administration, Obama was the shadow president, and he was telling everyone in the Biden administration what to do. And it was done through Susan Rice, who was going from his mansion to the White House every single day carrying instructions. See, Obama's smart. He's not going to leave emails so they can get leaked. He just does it word for word. So that he's a lot smarter than the Clintons. But remember I told you Camilla is the Clintons people? So when Biden was still Obama's puppet, the job was to make Camilla look as bad as possible because that's the Clintons. Now that the Clintons have, basically, and the Bidens have a deal, she's going to start looking a lot better. It's all politics, guys. You just got to understand what the game is.
Yeah. I mean, it's a play within a play within a play, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, they're all part of the same death cult. They really are. I mean, so on Rockfin, the next show that I'm going to do, the live stream, is like what I've been doing is watching old clips and breaking it down. And I'm going to break down the Bill Clinton versus George Bush debate. And I'm going to break it down. And because what?
You've been talking about that for a while. I'm glad you're gonna say that.
Bush lost on purpose.
Yeah,
he was sick of being in there. He was vice president for 8 years, then he was president for 4. He didn't actually want to be the president. Okay, he was a very private person. He didn't want anything to do with it. He was happy being CIA director. But see, what happened was Reagan was actually wasn't supposed to win in 1980. Bush was supposed to win, but the people went for Reagan, and they forced George W. Bush on him as the vice president. So he didn't pay any attention to George W. Bush the first year, and then Reagan started talking about the Federal Reserve. Well, then Reagan got shot, and he stopped talking about the Federal Reserve, and then he deferred everything to George Bush. So since Reagan got shot, I believe it was 81, George Bush was basically running the show.
100% for all of Reagan, all of George Bush, all of Bill Clinton, and all of Barack Obama. It was all the same people. Now, Barack Obama, obviously George Bush Sr. was much older, but it was the same death cult. That's it. Now,
look up Michelle Obama and George Bush. They
love candy, dude.
Yeah.
They love candy.
I honestly think they probably had an intimate relationship, but that's just me.
No.
Yeah, but
go back and put in George W. Bush and a guy by the name of Jeff Gannon on Google, and you're gonna see for some reason a reporter used to go to visit the White House when George W. Bush was in there at 1:00 in the morning. Why would a reporter go visit the president at 1:00 in the morning, and then you find out this so-called reporter, Jeff Gannon, used to be a male porn star. Interesting how that works.
Now, are you talking senior or junior?
Junior.
Well, his daddy got in trouble for the Franklin scandal, having boys, underage male prostitutes in the White House. And then, that doc on, I think, Netflix, which was like, Where's Johnny, or What Happened to Johnny? There's a picture of George Bush leaving. Oh, yeah, dude, I remember that. George Bush leaving like some conference, and behind him is a young man, and it looks exactly like the kid who went missing. And then his mother testified that he had visited her at her house and said, don't say anything. You're going to get everybody killed. I just came to tell you that I'm fine and this is my life and I'm sorry. And so it's really interesting. Interesting.
This is how the game works. You know, I will say something. It's not like it used to be in the 50s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, where the, ABC agencies, if you were a threat, they just put a bullet in you. That's not really what they do anymore. What they do now is they don't want to make anyone into a martyr. They made that mistake with, Dr. King, Malcolm X. They don't want to make people into martyrs because what they realized is, the people you create by killing someone actually can cause more trouble down the road. So what they do is they try to take someone who is doing good and they try to make him look like a criminal. And then maybe they'll find some child porn on his computer.
Or they'll put it there.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And exactly. That's what I'm basically trying to tell you. So they don't actually put bullets in people anymore. What they actually do now is they try to make the people who actually support this person look like idiots by, saying he's an evil person and he's done this or he's done this. So now it's basically character assassination is what these elitists do. They don't actually put bullets in people, at least not in America. They still do that in Russia, obviously, in Iran. But in this country, maybe so in Canada, UK, things of that nature, Europe, Germany, now it's more, okay, let's make this guy look like a demon. Let's make this guy look bad. So the people who did follow him actually are ashamed to say they were following him. Instead, that's a much better way of going about things from a psychological standpoint, because if you put a bullet in someone, you're going to create a martyr. But if you discredit someone, if you kill his character, well, now do you only destroy that person, but the people who support them, now they might be embarrassed to actually say they support them. So once again, it's all psychological now.
There's so much into that. And then I want to get back into some numerology stuff. So you broke down the 2024 election, but I want to we've also seen, because, I am somebody who is, again, I'm a spiritual man. I'm open-minded to everything. Got Jesus in my heart. Love him very much. Open to hidden history, what could really have happened versus what we've been told. But if you take a look at the governments, you take a look at the church, okay, again, not talking about the religion, talking about the church and the positioning of people in positions that when, let's say there used to be back day, if you cheated on your wife, it was almost as bad back then as being seen. Oh, and actually could be even seen worse than being a pedophile, right? Cheating on your wife. There were times where, Elvis Presley dated a 13-year-old or whatever her name was. His cousin was way underage. Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh, yeah, you're thinking about Jerry Lee Lewis. Yeah,
but also, didn't Elvis date a much younger?
I think he did, yeah.
And there's songs that say 17.
Yeah,
Jerry Lee Lewis went to the South, and it was totally fine. So,
well, what about Jerry Seinfeld? Not that long ago,
17-year-old. Yeah.
Dating a 17-year-old.
He was 30-something.
Yeah, and back then it was worse to cheat on your wife than to hook up with a 17-year-old.
Yeah. So, but now, for the longest time, homosexuality.
Well, you say that. I'm sorry, Sam. When you say that, but then in certain cultures, it was kind of really accepted to have a mistress. Though, if you think about in the Italian, that mafia culture, those guys all had mistresses.
I
totally
think up
normalized.
until recently it was acceptable. I do think if you take a look at the Me Too movement, a big part of that is this whole desire to kind of castrate men.
France is for a long time was totally normal to have a mistress a second.
Well, it's like I know people whose family, I'm not going to say who it is, might have had a grandpa who's had a second family,
families, yeah.
That was I'm not saying accepted, but it was way more common than people thought.
No, because it was doable. Now these bitches know each other on Instagram. You can't have a family 2 blocks away without them knowing each other.
Side bitches know their side bitches a lot, and a lot. Look at the whole thing with the royal family right now. Dude, that's the greatest side bitch of all time. She became queen. My joke about about Melania Trump. People get mad at that, but that's the greatest gold digger you've ever seen in your life. There's nobody who achieved a higher level of gold digging than Melania Trump.
She won.
She was a smoke show. There's a good and you guys can get mad all you want at the facts and if they're touching you in bad play. It just is she was probably escorting. Like when you're that hot in that kind of world, that's what you do.
And Trump
I
said
mean, sugar dating, OnlyFans, it happens all the time.
You know, about Melania Trump is very interesting that she knows a lot of languages. She's actually not just like a dumb broad.
I don't think she's a dumb broad at all.
She knows a lot of stuff. And what's interesting is, why would a woman from the Czech Republic or somewhere in that area know like 5-6 different languages? And it's almost like, was she actually, trained by somebody?
Now we're getting into interesting stuff.
Was she actually trained by someone? But, Donald J. Trump isn't actually the most interesting person in the Trump family. His uncle is probably the most interesting person in his family because it was his uncle that was going through Tesla's work. When Tesla died,
100%.
It was Trump's uncle that was going through all this stuff. So you can only imagine the secrets that he found out that actually helped to propel the Trump family to where it is right now. Like
Little
instance,
Baron Trump.
I'm right now. I'm in Sunny Isles, Florida. I'm in a Trump Tower. So it is what it is.
Well, hey, dude, you've opened up some interesting stuff, like the position of her, and maybe the games that are getting played, the whole who introduced them, where they meet, all that stuff. And again, who am I to discuss any to judge anybody's past? I'm a recovering drug addict, sex addict. So I mean, I'm not judging anybody. Don't get mad at that. I'm just pointing out the facts of the matter. Like she did better than everybody else. And what you're saying is super interesting. Maybe she was positioned there.
It's very possible. It's extremely possible.
It's extremely possible. But going back to our original point, and this is why, guys, you can get mad at me if you want. I keep saying this, but it's like, I won't demonize homosexuality because it's used by the elites as blackmail. Like when you start to demonize something that somebody does in their privacy with consenting adults, it allows people to be manipulated.
But what happens when you promote stuff like that?
That's something different
to the kids.
That's something different.
So here's what I'm basically trying to tell you. If people are doing stuff behind closed doors like they used to
with adults,
that's fine. That's fine.
That's my whole point.
But now it's not like that. The movement now, as a matter of fact, I'm going to teach you guys something right now. Let's do some breaking information, new age.
Johnny, you got a sound effect for it. Hold on, we got a sound effect for it. Breaking information, news.
So I want you guys to go on your computer and put on the screen the chakra system, with the colors all the way up. So just look at chakras and you're going to see basically the 7 chakra system. Yeah, right there. Just point that up. Okay. So you see how the purple is on top, which is basically by the crown chakra, and the very bottom of it is red.
Yes.
And the red represents the root chakra. Okay. So now take that and put it side by side with the LGBT flag.
Oh.
Damn.
Now, you see, put it up. Now, you see how it's the exact opposite? When it comes to the LGBT flag.
Yeah,
put the LGBT flag up now.
It came out. It was on.
Oh my God, you're right. Holy shit.
Purple is on the very bottom and the red is on the very top. Now you have to understand what red is. Red is associated with sex. So on the root chakra level, people who are just going around. See, these are the simps who are signing up for OnlyFans, the people who are basically whores on the streets. They're dominated by the root chakra. They're all the way at the bottom. At the top is the purple, because purple is the color of royalty. But see, with the LGBT, it's the complete opposite.
Oh my God, dude.
The red is on the very top because what they believe in. Whoa. Now, again, I'm not speaking for all gay people. There's gay people out there who live a normal life.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the majority of people out there who are going in these streets, dressing half naked. Sexuality is what is their ruler.
How they identify.
And that's why that's the biggest thing to them. That's why all it is about their sexuality. That's why they identify with this, because of this system. It's
That's
all
crazy.
And I know it's going to sound stupid, but that wasn't a coincidence, right?
No.
Yeah, obviously, right. Just making sure everybody understands it wasn't a coincidence.
No, that was done on purpose. Now I'm going to get even deeper for you guys. The birthplace of homosexuality in America was Stonewall, basically New York. But the movement actually took place the strongest in San Francisco, California. Why did they choose San Francisco, California?
Why?
Because San Francisco is the root chakra of the earth. That's where the sexual energy of the earth is. How can I prove this? Because, what I like to do, unlike other people, is give people proof. Well, there's a certain type of tree that grows in that Northern California area, only there. It's called the redwood. Redwood. You guys
Redwood.
get it?
Yeah, your wood.
So again, red root chakra symbolizes sexuality. So San Francisco, they basically, by turning San Francisco gay, they spread it all over the world, because that is the root chakra of the earth. Is this making sense to you guys?
Yeah, and I wouldn't doubt if you studied it. I bet you there's some ley lines around San Francisco as well.
And, by the way, where's Bohemian Grove?
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Right
dude.
there in San Francisco. So again, they do those sick, sexual, sadistic acts by the root chakra of the earth. And it's all done on purpose. The inverted LGBT flag with the chakra system, it's all there. So what people have to understand is this is a psyop. This is the psyop. Because let me explain something. The reason so many men are gay now is because they're raised by single mothers. They're raised by basically women. No woman can teach a boy how to become a man. So when you have this type of men, they grow up emotional, and they're more likely to go that way.
It's so crazy, bro. It's such a long psyop of just a war, this cultural war going on. I mean, if you take a look at the Nazis out Germany, they were started by a group that basically translates to the Wandering Wind, and it was basically the Germany's version of Boy Scouts, and they were basically all molested. So they were gay. And they basically started the occult movement that was the Nazis.
You're talking about the brown shirts in the Nazis, and they were pretty much all the leadership of the brown shirts were gay. And then there was the Night of the Long Knives. I believe it was 1934. I could get the year wrong, so forgive me if I do. But around that time, Hitler became the main guy. And he's like, you know what? I don't need these guys anymore. So he basically took them all out. So the people who were supporting him in the very beginning, the homosexuals, he took them all out.
Okay, it was called the Wandering Birds. Basically, the Wandering Birds, and it was the Wandervolgen, and they were basically a youth group that pretty much was the beginning of the Nazi youth. And
let's not forget that after Germany lost World War I. Berlin was basically San Francisco. All the degeneracy in Europe was there, and it got cleaned up. Basically, soldiers after World War II went to the streets and cleaned it up themselves without the government's consent. That's basically what needs to happen. People need to have a backbone, especially in the military. But since so many of the military people got vaccinated, we don't even know if they're going to be fit to fight wars in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's getting really crazy with that too. And it's so funny because the people who were pushing all the vaccinations and all that stuff are just like, can you believe this guy died? This guy died. That guy died. Yeah, it's crazy. They died. I'm like, why do you think that is? I don't know, man.
I don't know.
And it's just like, wow, you are in denial. And, I'm never going to call out names or any of that stuff because that's not my style.
I will. Arnold Schwarzenegger, all of these celebrities. As a matter of fact, I personally think Elon Musk should actually do something, because all these celebrities who actually got paid to promote this vaccine, and because people trusted them and they took the vaccine, there has to be a punishment. They need to be banned off social media. They really do. They hurt people, they lied to people, and they did it for freaking money. That is the worst part. They sold out their people who trusted them for money. There has to be consequences. Let me tell you something. In 1946, there was a Nuremberg trial. And during Nuremberg, they took basically all the Nazi war criminals and they basically judged them and hung most of them. And that basically set a precedence all over the world. So since 1946, all these warlords, all these wars that have broken in all these small nations, all the civil wars in Africa, all the warlords knew that if they went too far, if they actually went too far, they could be taken to The Hague. And The Hague is basically where they take the criminals under international court. So basically, because they set that precedence in 1946 with Nuremberg, that has basically tied the hands of dictators who wanted to commit genocide, and they couldn't do it because they knew if they did, they might face the trials at The Hague one day. So that's actually saved lives. So here's the point I'm trying to make. In 1918, it was the Spanish flu. 100 years later, it was COVID. Obviously, it was a pandemic, but it was still there. In another 100 years, it's going to be something like this again. So what needs to happen is we need to set the precedence now. The people who mandated the vaccine, they must meet the same fate as the people who actually they forced the vaccine on. Because what happens is, if we actually show these people that they will be held accountable, and I think something like that will happen in about 2025. I'll go into why later. But I think these people must be held accountable, and we have to do it for our kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids, because something like this is going to happen again. And those criminals who are going to be in charge of the government then, they have to be able to look back and be like, wait a second, we can't go too far, because what happens is they arrested some of those people who did it in 2025 for what they did in 2020, 2021, 2002. The precedents must be set, because that's how we protect our future generations. Do not forgive these people. Do not forgive these people. They killed your friends, your family, your brother, and they lied to you. They destroy livelihoods. People must be held accountable.
Yeah, I've been watching, like, I think the closest to this right now is France and what could happen in France, because they seem the closest to want to just flip everything. Do you think ever Dr. Fauci will even be accounted for? Even if he dies, will they ever write down like this fool killed people? Here's the problem with all that, right?
Not him. Low-level players.
Well,
probably not him.
It's super interesting, right? Because if you take a look at Trump, right? Trump gets found guilty in what? A civil trial, not a criminal trial. Okay. And he never gets guilty in a criminal trial, because if you set that precedence, like Gary's saying, now all of a sudden you open up everybody else to criminal trials. But in a civil trial, $5 million to those people is nothing. That's a tip. So now you can set precedents in which you could use it to get us to do nonlinear warfare and fight with each other all the time. That's 100% what's going on here, dude. So Trump will never prosecute those guys because he doesn't want them to prosecute him. And this is the game that gets played. And the truth of the matter is, it's like we're in a very, very, very interesting place, because is there law and order? And what we watch in Germany, what we watch in China, and what we watch in Russia is starting to happen here. But it's being done by several different fronts. You know, it's the deep state, it's the globalists, the Chinese, it's the Democrats. It's like all these groups are conspiring together to create chaos. But I believe that people are waking up to it more and more and more. People are
for every two people to wake up, three devolve. How many more transgenders do we have now than before? So yes, we live in a time where there's more people who are actually getting it, who actually understand what's going on, than at any time in human history. The problem is there's more devolved people right now. the purple-haired freaks, the people out there who don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's going to be a split in the world of. Oh, did we lose something? Oh, you back?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
There's going to be, there's going to be the big cities versus the rest of the country. And if you live in the big cities, you're going to be falling for this kind of chaos that is cultural Marxism, these free-range psych wards. And then, when you live in the smaller cities outside, it's going to be more community. I really do believe that.
The way you just said it, free-range psych wards.
Yeah,
I've never heard it called that.
That's what
Free-range
this
psych
is.
ward. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
It's just mental illness, anxiety is skyrocketing. I mean, Dana can't stop listening to mainstream news. And she's just like, what is with all of these mental therapy apps? I go, because they want to get you on pharmaceuticals. That's all they want you to do. They want you to numb out. Everything in our society is about taking the easy way out.
Everybody needs therapy. You've heard that. Everybody could use a little therapy. Yeah, it starts with therapy, and then you need some pills.
Yeah, 100%.
It's all grifting, man. They all need to find a grift, man. You have people who basically were virgins until 35, at 36 selling books on how to get women. You have broke people who are telling people how to become millionaires and selling courses. It's a grift. Everyone's a grifter, and it'll go on Twitter. It's disgusting what's going on. And then, like, for instance, I'm picking up steam. People are starting to recognize who I am. And what happens as soon as I start skyrocketing? You got people pretending to be me. You got people who are scam artists on Instagram who are pretending to be me on Twitter, trying to scam people out of money. People are grifters. And we need to start setting examples of, people from stopping from doing this. The problem is the family unit broke down. That is the biggest single issue. The feminism destroyed everything, because feminists are the ones who are creating these kids who go through this jail through poverty cycle. Because I think it's 73% of single mothers are in poverty. Those kids have no choice but to grow up in the worst conditions with no masculine presence around them, and they're going to grow up emotional. And what happens? Most rapists, 85% of rapists, are basically raised by single mothers. So it's the single mothers feminists who are creating these people. Then you have the other end of the spectrum. 40% of men never have kids. You cannot function as a society like that for long, because what you actually need, I believe 80% of women have kids and 40% of men who don't. That basically tells you that women are having a whole bunch of different, you just do the math here. That is unsustainable. That is what religion was for. It was basically to make sure that lower 40% of men could get wives too, so they could produce kids and we could have a stable society. When you don't have that, all of a sudden you need immigration, because when you don't produce 2.1 kids per family, you can't even maintain your society, which means your society is going to get older, which means the social security system is going to collapse because you don't have enough young people to pay for the old. So
I totally agree.
So what do? They actually open the borders so people come in to buy into the system. So the young immigrants can start supporting the old people. This is how the game works, guys. And by the way, if you decide the hell with this, we don't want immigration, well, the same thing's going to happen to you to happen to China. Excuse me, not China, Japan. Their society is aging to such a point where the whole system's going to collapse.
Yeah, I was looking that up. I've been hearing that narrative forever, and now I have people, it's not true, they've actually gone up. I go, I don't think that's true, man. I think Japan's having a giant population problem. I think, it's like, listen, man, I have daughters. I'm so blessed to be a girl dad, but I just get really weird by what they're going to walk into. Feminism is the exact opposite of divine feminist. It just is. Do you have to have kids to fulfill your life as a woman? I'm not saying you have to, but it's like, look at what's going on, man. From from woke women to OnlyFans. I mean, more and more you're being taken out of the running for high value males because you don't want to have kids, or you're just like flicking your bean. And again, I don't care if you do porn, but it's like it's low frequency shit. It's low
100%.
vibrational shit.
I mean, and the reason those girls stay single is because what high value man wants a girl that's on OnlyFans all day?
100%. And that's the thing that we never tell women. We tell men all the time, hey, you got to be conscious of women. This is what women are looking for in men. We never ever now in this culture tell women this is what men are looking for.
Oh, you're such an asshole if you tell them like, oh, I want to come home to cook meal.
Every one of these shows where like 35-year-old men or 30-year-old men tell 8 to 10 20-year-old girls the relationship between men and women because they're all hot and they just say dumb shit.
I don't need to cater to no man.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
And what happens is that you see it all the time in the Me Too movement. Look at every single woman in Hollywood that drove the Me Too movement. Show me one of them that comes off as happy. None of them. None of them come off as happy.
They think that's normal. That's the thing. They think nobody's happy. That's what they think.
That's what they think. But what they don't understand is that they have blue hair, they're on prescription medication, they don't have children, they can't keep a relationship, and they're miserable. And all they do is tell the younger generations, like, you don't need a man, you don't have to have kids, your career matters, and you should fuck around with everybody you want to. Now, listen, dude, don't get me wrong. As a guy who is a crippling sex addict and is doing real work on that.
He needed girls like you to have that.
Dude, every guy loves a chick who puts out. Every guy loves it. But listen, man, it's just like giving it up. If it's given away to everybody, it's not special. It's just the way it is. And
women who sleep around, they're bipolar. Flat out. If you sleep around with too many men, you have too many men's, like, women absorb energy, guys give energy. So when women sleep around with a whole bunch of guys, they have a whole bunch of different energies within them, and they become bipolar. I mean, almost everyone who's going to listen to this podcast knows someone who's a hoe. And you're going to know that person is going to be bipolar. Now, I want you to think about this. If you sleep with too many men, men, you start having mental illness. Oh, there, guys.
Gary the numbers guy.
Well, it's also that, like, the one thing that we've done in our modern culture, and again, I could easily say it because I'm 50 now. I'm out of my prime like that. But it's like we really, and I'm a victim of it, we really took all the spiritual energy of sex. That it's not an energy transfer, that it's not a spiritual moment, and we've just made it into an event, just an activity. And it's a very spiritual moment, and we've taken all that out. And it's just everywhere now. And it's just like women have no clue. Just like I'm sorry, ladies, I'm just gonna say, like, a woman bragging about how much sex she's had is like a guy bragging about how much debt he's in. It's just,
good example.
Nobody wants to hear it. Nothing's, unless it's this insane number that people are like, okay, tell me that story. Like Mike Tyson literally had a Broadway play talking about how broke he went, like, because it was $400 million he lost. I want to hear that story. I don't want to hear from the guys like, dude, I'm $75,000 in debt. I don't need to hear that story.
We talking about like 1,000 dudes? You'll hear that story?
Like 10,000? Like, what is that story?
You know what's neat, though, is that the people who do still regard sex as spirituality are the people who are using it for darker reasons, you know? Like,
oh, that's a great point, too.
They still very much believe that there's a spiritual element.
It goes back to what Gary was saying.
And they believe in taking virgins.
Yeah.
Virgin blood is very, very special. I'm going to tell you this. Witches, or people who are in Wicca and believe in that stuff, they personally believe that their power is strongest as long as they're virgins. So there are women out there, and again, in America, we're talking about few and far in between. But when it comes down to it, there are women who are virgins, and a lot of their power comes from their virginity. That's why virgin has a V and witch has a W, which is basically two V's.
Yep.
The English language is so powerful. I mean, there's a reason why English is all over the world. And again, it's called spelling for a reason. It really is.
Now, does numerology work in other languages as well? Or is it
well, here's the thing. It started off with Greek, it went to Hebrew, and then it went to English. When it comes down to it, numerology, whatever the main system in the world is, whatever people are manifesting with their minds, that's what's going to be the main system. Like, for instance, yes, more people talk Mandarin than American. American English. What am I talking about? But when it comes down to it, if you go to Beijing, the signs are in English. You go to Russia, the signs are in English. You go to Dubai, the signs are in English. Because English is the dominated language because it's the one that's coded with numerology. Straight facts.
Wow.
I'll give you an example of how this works. Okay. George Floyd was killed in 2020. I think it was around May. He was killed in the sign of Gemini. G-E. George. G-E. So again, they like to start revolutions with people called George. King George. By the way, who was the first president of the United States? George Washington. So again, they like to use certain people because they know the energy of the people will throw themselves behind. I mean, George Floyd was not a good person. He was not a good person. But the fact of the matter is people galvanized behind him because they felt a connection to him. These elite are extremely smart. They know exactly what they're doing. Let's face it. There's hundreds of black men who were killed by police. Why they picked that one? Because that one had the GE. It's all there. For instance, another thing about George Washington is he's born on the 22nd. 22 is the number of the master builder, first president of the United States. Now, if that's just one example, it wouldn't matter much. I got more. The guy who started the Soviet Union, the other superpower last decade, and by the way, it was started in 1922, was Vladimir Lenin. Guess when he was born? On the 22nd. So again, certain people with certain numbers have certain abilities. And once you start understanding this information, life gets a lot easier, folks. Like, for instance, I believe you're 10/28/19, right?
Can we beep that? But yeah, can you beep that? Johnny, write that down. I don't want that out.
I'm sorry.
No,
sorry.
it's okay.
Apologies.
It's okay.
You're
public knowledge.
You're a three life path.
The year.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a three life path in numerology. And 3 is the number of communication. Communication starts with C. C is the third letter. So people with your energy are pretty much behind the mic. Now, the top people in your game are 11s. The second best are the 3s. So when it comes down to it, a guy like Steven Crowder, he's a 3. A guy like Rolo, I was just on him, whatever, he's a 3. So a lot of people in this game are 3s. So you're doing the right thing because the way you touch people is through your communication skills.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. And it's very interesting you talk about that because I had a buddy of mine named Jason Ellis. We had a TV show together, and I used to just watch him, and I don't know what his birthday is. I'm sure it's one of those numbers, but I always said he had the Elvis factor. And there's just people who have the Elvis factor, and there's people who just don't have the Elvis factor. Like they're like a Tom Waits type, that was like loved by the artist, but never really got to that giant level of success. And Tom Waits could probably sell a ton of tickets wherever he went, I feel like that's me. Like I've always had the respect of my peers, but You're
the Leonard Cohen of comedy.
I mean, like, I don't even know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
That's a great thing.
But I just feel that, like,
you do it your own way. You're kind of like the black sheep.
100%.
You're doing it your own way. And the reason that is because you're in astrology, you're born in the rat year. And rats always do it their own way. Rats have to respect somebody to actually, their intelligence, things of that nature. You just want to know things. Like, you might talk about drugs all you want, but honestly, one of your top drugs is knowledge. You want to know as much as possible.
I completely do. So it's very interesting because, it's like I get called all these names about what I am and what I'm not and all this stuff. It's like shills and all that stuff. It's like I'm a really weird guy because like the industry doesn't like me. And basically, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm on nobody's podcast. Like the comics aren't even asking me to be on. So I've been rejected also. Like they love they know who I am, bro. Like they know like following Sam Tripoli is going to be a fucking education. Like they're going to find out a lot about themselves. So that's why I kind of but it's like, I'm not even accepted by that group in terms of like running and gunning with them. I'm definitely out on my own. And it's like, it's just super interesting. So I don't know what I've gotten to be a shill that you think I'm a shilly guy. It's like, I drive a Mitsubishi. I still rent a house. I mean, like, what am I doing that it's like I'm getting all the cash and prizes? I'm definitely a rat then. I'm on my own. I'm just doing my own thing. None of it's been like, outside of like, Eddie Bravo, that's the only kind of big known people that
he's shadow banned up the ass too.
Yeah. So it's like, it's an interesting journey, dude. I don't know where it ends or how it goes. I've been trying my hardest to put out the best information I can, and we'll see if people resonate with it. I'm also never going to lie to you guys. Like that's just one of my things. Like, my whole currency is authenticity. And I'm, even if it's not a popular view, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you what I think you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I really feel. And sometimes that's going to be popular. Sometimes that's not. That's just kind of how I go. I'd rather, have a couple people listen to me telling the truth than lie to all you guys. Cause I just feel like when you present a character, it eventually comes out and the whole thing crumbles.
When it comes down to you, my friend, you're gonna blow up in 2024. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, please, thank you. From your mouth to God's ears. Let's fucking go. Somebody help me over here. I'm going nuts. But
Listen, people do well in their compatible energies. People do well with their friend energies. You're born in the year of the dragon. Year of the rat. People who are born in rat years do well under dragon energy. 2024 is dragon energy. Let me give you some examples of how this worked in everyday life. Do you guys remember a basketball player by the name of Jeremy Lin?
Yes.
Yeah, he just got his head crushed over in Taiwan or something. Yeah.
So but in 2012, he was the most popular NBA player. He was even more popular than Kobe. It was called Linsanity. Do you guys remember that?
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
Wild time.
So again, Jeremy Lin, born 1988 in the year of the dragon, becomes the most popular basketball player in 2012, the year of the dragon. In 2012, that's also the first year Kevin Durant, born 1988, year of the dragon, and Westbrook, born 1988, year of the dragon, actually made the NBA Finals. So here's the point. You could actually look at this stuff and basically say, okay, I'm going to do good this year. And there's plenty of examples how this works. There's a baseball player by the name of Cody Bellinger. He's born in 1995, year of the pig. He was the best baseball player in the game in 2019, the year of the pig. After his year happened, he fell off. He completely fell off.
Yeah.
Now he's having a good year right now, but he fell off big time. Another guy, Andrew Tate, born 1986, the year of the tiger, completely took over the internet in 2022, the year of the tiger. After 2022 starts closing, he gets handcuffs on him. His energy ended. So basically, Tom Cruise last year was the #1 money-making person in Hollywood. Tom Cruise, born 1962, the year of the tiger. Again, 2022 was the year of the tiger. The original Top Gun movie came out in 1986, the year of the tiger. And one more example, Mr. Beast, born 1998, year of the tiger. He got more than a $1 billion valuation for his products in 2022, the year of the tiger. So people do well under their energies. And if people understand how this information goes, it's basically like this. Timing is everything. And if you understand numerology and astrology, you can time your life perfectly.
Gary, okay. I got a question about one number. It's not my favorite number, just comes all the time on every website I go to. What's up with the number 69?
What do you mean it's
69.
not your favorite
It's
number?
not. It just shows up a lot. It's not my favorite number. I got no real love for it. I just want to know why does it show up so much in my life? I know, Johnny, it shows up in your life
What are you
every
doing
so
to us?
often. I just want to know what's that number got to do with.
That's XG's whole role on the show is ask retarded questions.
You know, when it comes down to 69, that's more of a one night stand type of question, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's the red stripe on the gay pride. That's what it is.
You guys want to see? You guys want to see how numerology is so intact with everything? A gay slur is F-A.
You can say it.
Yeah, Sam.
F-A. Okay,
I typed it in,
F-A-G.
Yeah, you typed it earlier.
That's a gay slur. So if you look at numerology, F is 6, A is 1, and G is 7. So fag 617. The first state that passed gay marriage was Massachusetts. You want to guess what their area code is?
617. Oh my God, dude. Now, a couple things.
And I guess Twitter's going to start suspending people now who say 617 because that was my slur, basically to get away from saying it. So I got Twitter.
He's a 617?
Pretty much.
So that's what they say about chicks. Oh, she's a 304, which means
pretty much.
which is like a hot, like just shady ass bitch from
White
Miami,
supremacists are
which
good
I
at that,
call people I love.
Sam, how long till you hear someone call you a 617 on the street?
I'll fight that. I don't care. Call me whatever you want. I don't care.
Get that term famous, man.
Oh, I'm gonna start using it. I'm like, don't be a 617.
So let's get into it. I don't want to keep you forever, but so if someone wanted to start learning this stuff, what would you suggest?
You basically here's what it comes down to. The basics on the internet, they're not real. They lie to you. Everything's a psyop, even the numerology and astrology. If you want to learn numerology, I suggest you go to Twitter, put in hashtag GG33. It's right there. I pretty much got 3,000 students in there. I also have something called GG33 Academy. If people want to sign up for that, it's basically the lower levels. If people actually want to join my group, you can't just give me money to join. I already got my bag, so it's not that easy anymore. People have to pass the interview. People have to sign a non-disclosure if they actually want to learn how to do this at the next level. And again, I want to make this abundantly clear. I'm not, trying to solicit anyone here. I already got my bag. And when it comes down to it, I already got billionaires in my group, NBA players. So none of that stuff really matters. At this point, I'm going to make this very clear. If you're a male homosexual, you're not getting in my group. If you're a socialist, if you're a communist, you're not getting in my group. If you're a feminist, you're not getting in my group. If you voted for Biden, you're not getting in my group. So here's what it comes down to. You don't have to be a conservative like my people. Most of my people are pretty conservative. You can be a moderate. It's fine. But you cannot be woke. I do not allow woke people in my group because
how about anti-woke gay guys?
That's something different. That's something different.
So you're saying you can't be a woke person.
I allow lesbians in my group because when it comes down to it, if you look from a sexual standpoint, a lot of lesbians basically have been abused by men, and when they're in a relationship with another woman, it's because of a emotional attachment. It's not all sexual. With guys, it's pretty much all sexual. So it's very, very different. Plus, gay women do not spread STDs. Gay men do. So it's a much, much different thing. Now, I'm not there's log cabin Republicans, and they're conservatives, and they're gay. And when it comes down to it, their symbol is Abraham Lincoln. And one of the reasons they chose Abraham Lincoln as their symbol is because a lot of people believe he was a closet homosexual.
We live in interesting times, Gary. We live in interesting times. So
let me give something to you guys because last episode I did with you guys a few years ago, I dropped some bombs. I want to share something now that I've never shared with anyone except for people in my group. So I'm actually going to drop some GG33 knowledge. I've talked about 28 being the number of wealth. We talked about either if you're born on the 28th that, you're going to be rich, or as we talked about with you, whenever you really need money, it's going to come to you. But there's other ways to go about this. Musk is born on the 28th, but he said there is one guy who had a lot more money than him. Do you know who that guy is?
Not sure. I mean, I one guy that's super rich, nobody talks about, Steve Ballmer, but who are you talking about?
No, I'm talking a guy way richer than Ballmer.
Who
I'm
is
talking
that?
about a guy that Musk said had a lot more money than him. And in all honesty, he might have been a trillionaire before 2022. I'm talking about Vladimir Putin.
Oh, snaps.
Vladimir Putin is a lot richer than basically Elon Musk, and even Musk has admitted it. You can go on YouTube and look that up. And Vladimir Putin is born on the 280th day of the year. So okay, that's not what I'm trying to say. But he did something. He did something because he knew how energy worked. Why don't you guys go on Wikipedia on Vladimir Putin and put that up? Because I want people to see this. This is going to shock you guys. Go on Vladimir Putin, put it on Wikipedia, and there's certain things we're going to look up.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yes.
Put in Wikipedia. There we go. Just put wiki. There you go.
There you go. Vladimir Putin. Now, I want you to go down to his personal life.
Early life, education,
Yes,
KGB.
No. Go when he got married. Look at the day he got married.
Does it say what day?
Yes.
We're
it's
never
there.
going to find it. Where is it? What
Okay.
section?
It's there somewhere. So it's
Might
a
be in the
big
early
section.
life thing at the top.
So yeah,
Oh,
go there.
That's there.
Go. Okay.
There it is.
So
There it
look-
is. His family. Should be
Uh-huh.
somewhere in there.
On July 28th, July 28th, he got married. 28 is the number of wealth. So there's a hack for you guys right there. If you guys want to get rich, get married on the 28th. There's going to be consequences with that. But if your number one thing in life is money, get married on the 28th. Now, let's go even further.
What's the consequence before? What's the consequence before you get everybody getting married on the 28th? What's the consequence? What's it come with the money?
Everything is yin yang in life. If you're gonna get one thing, something's gonna hurt.
Ooh.
And let's look at Mr. Musk. How many times has he been divorced?
Yeah.
How about Bill Gates? That's the consequence. Yeah, if you're gonna be all about money and that's gonna be your god, family's gonna suffer. So again, I'm putting a hack out there. If you guys are all about money, that's all you care about. Get married on the 28th.
What if you're just all about love?
Oh, that's you probably should get married on the 11th.
On the 11th. Okay.
That's a good day. Now
I'm
go
doing
back
it.
to that. Go back to that Wikipedia page because I wasn't done. Go back to that. Is same exact section. So we established that he is a trillionaire. Musk said he's a lot richer than him, and he got married on the 28th. Now go down. When did he have his daughter?
His daughter.
March 2003.
One of them was 2015.
His birth to daughter was 2015.
And one of
gave
his
birth
and one of his daughters is born on the 28th. That's the hack, gentlemen. If you don't want to get married on the 28th, if you're not a 28th, have a child born on the 28th.
Fuck.
And that will bring you money. And I just made a lot of people millionaires who are listening to this podcast.
Can you found your business on the 28th, or does it have to be marriage and birth?
Of course, you can find your business on the 28th.
Okay.
There's plenty of successful companies that have done it.
Okay.
So, by the way, the most valuable football franchise. Let me reframe that. The most valuable franchise in sports is the Dallas Cowboys. Why don't you go on their Wikipedia page and find out when they were founded? You're going to see that number 28 again. Why don't you go on Rolex and see how they always have a 28 in their ads? I'm giving away real life hacks. I hope people who are listening actually enjoy it because I've kept this information private within my group for quite some time.
So let's get into something real quick before we wrap it up here because it's been a great episode. What's going to go on with the world economy? Tell me.
We're going to have a reset in 2024. Every time we have a dragon year, that's usually when the reset comes. Last time we had a big major reset was 2000 with the dot-com bubble, and that was also a dragon year. I am looking for a lot of cryptos to be basically smashed. And the reason that is because the Fed's coming to town. And when you have a new mob boss, pulling up on, smaller competition, the Fed is going to have to introduce their Fed coin because a lot of other countries don't want to deal with the dollar anymore. So the Fed's going to have to do something, or it's going to be the U.S. military. So, it's got to be one of the two because they have to protect their dollar. The reason that America is the world superpower is because of the petrodollar system that is crumbling. At some point, the Fed's going to have to basically step in and be like, you know what? We're going to have a Fed coin. And for that to happen, a lot of these other coins have to die first. So that is one of my predictions. Another thing is I believe Michelle Obama is going to be the Democratic nominee. I believe Biden's going to be pushed out. And I believe she's probably the most likely president in 2024, Big Mike administration, and which means Barack Obama is basically in his fourth term. Interesting how that works. And by the way, I asked Malik, Barack's brother, when I interviewed him, did you ever see Michelle pregnant? Nope. I've offered money on Twitter. My account is FireGG33. I have offered money to basically, if anyone can find a pregnant picture of her that's actually authentic and not AI.
Yeah, I saw that.
I like to see it. I no AI picture. I want to see a real picture of Michelle Obama pregnant. I'm willing to give you people money, $10K. I don't care. Let me see that picture because I don't believe it exists. And if you go, guys,
I typed it on DuckDuckGo and I spelled it right, at least I think, and there's not one picture of her pregnant.
There's not. So the question is,
you'll find one for every first lady. You'll find one with Melinda Trump. You'll find one with Laura Bush. You'll find pictures of all of them pregnant, not Michelle Obama. And again, maybe this is all a psyop. So when she becomes president, be like, yo, I'm a woman. We played your ass, just like they did with the birth certificate. That might be possible. But I'm telling you, I have never seen a pregnant picture of her. And that's just very interesting to me. And the funniest thing about all of this, the kids that were born, they were born in a private doctor's office. They weren't actually in a hospital.
And so they like look exactly like this other couple that follows them around all the time. Exactly. So, but I can't tell, Gary, because earlier you said you think she's a chick, and now you're referring to her as Big Mike. What do you think?
I think that whoever Michelle Obama was, to the best of my ability, I think she was replaced. Whoever was the original Michelle Obama, I don't think she's around anymore. And that's my personal opinion.
You think she was offed?
I don't know. Maybe she went off.
You think that this is a different Michelle? This is not the Michelle Obama that was in the wedding pictures. This is a different Michelle Obama.
No, the bone structure is very, very different. I mean, listen, I understand, I've seen women who are bodybuilders and they're big like Michelle Obama, but they still have a thin waist. Michelle Obama does not have a thin waist. It looks like a man. So again, could be a psyop. We don't know what's going on. We don't put a psyop past these people, but we have to go with the available evidence that we have. And I don't believe whatever that Michelle Obama is now is what Michelle Obama was. There's just no way. I understand people can pick up weight, but there's no way they can go from looking like that to looking like that. There's no way. Unless you're just taking testosterone 24 hours a day, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, she could have gotten, like, the advancement. I mean, you see some of these, like, Blair White, you're like, that's a dude? You're like, what the fuck? So
I just want to say this. This might be a little bit off, but there's so many women that have so many beautiful curves, and these guys want to suck dick. It's ridiculous.
It's so weird.
Ridiculous.
It's just weird. The whole thing is weird. Comedy's weird. Fuck, everything's weird, dude. Okay, so final question is, the economy's gonna get worse before it gets better? Are you saying that?
I think there's going to be some major problems this year. I think that the market might go down severely 20, 30 points by the end of the year. But I do believe that we're going to have a boom economy in 2024. I think if we're going to have a big crash, it's going to be like a flash crash. They'll just scare people for a couple months, and then everything will be back to normal. And you have to understand the elite have to do this, because what happens is the economy grows, more people get money, and some of these people who actually get money are not part of the Illuminati. They're not part of the team.
Yeah.
So when you have all the, like, again, a guy worth $1 billion, a guy with $10 billion, they can't really fight these people. Gaddafi had 500 billion. He lost in 9 months. So you can't really fight these people. But what happens is, if you have enough billionaires who aren't on the team, then they can start moving together as a group against the main players. So what they have to do is they have to basically take the money off the streets, take some of these billionaires, turn them into millionaires, and then they start the whole cycle again.
It's like the NFL, dude. The NFL, anybody who's not in that old money club tries to buy a team and they don't like it, no chance, bro. And it's happened a million times. People try to buy those pro teams.
They got magnets in the goalpost, by the way. You know, when they kick a field goal and all of a sudden it turns real hard right or real hard left? So NFL player told me this. He saw refs injecting something in the football right before the game. NFL players have told me this. They don't know what it was. I'm going to assume it's metal particles. So what happens is, when they kick those field goals, they turn the magnets on in the goalpost, and that's why so many of these things hit the goalpost. Wow. That's why they're wide left, wide. They're all cheating.
Doink.
In baseball. In baseball, what they do is they can't really cheat on the balls and strikes too much. But what they do is, when they want hitters, when they want the game to go over, they take baseballs with real tight strings. And when they want the baseball to basically a low-scoring game, they make sure the strings are real loose, so you can't get under the ball. They cheat in every single sport. Wow. I mean, listen, NBA, I trust the NBA and the NFL as much as I'm going to find a virgin in the whorehouse. You don't trust these people at all.
Lottery. What do you think about the lottery? That's right up your alley. The lottery, we think, is just such bullshit.
I think it's all bullshit, dude. I think they know exactly who won.
You notice it's always the big Mega Million or Powerball winners. It's always mixed couples. It's always
we meant the NBA
couples.
Draft lottery. Sorry, but yeah,
no. Let's talk about the lottery. It's always a mixed couple who's winning these major Powerballs or major, So I'm thinking this is what happens. It's difficult for the CIA to basically funnel money the way they used to, because let's face it, America's America, and there's going to be a paper trail. Why do you think these politicians are so benevolent with your money? They're always sending overseas because they can basically money laundering overseas. Inside of America, it's difficult to money launder even for the CIA. That's why in the 80s they were selling crack cocaine in the inner city, trying to make money that way. But they don't do stuff like that too much anymore. What they do now is they have the lottery. And whenever the lotto gets to about 500 million, 200 million, one of their own people win it, and that money actually goes to the CIA or some kind of other ABC intelligence agency.
I agree.
That's what I basically believe. It's basically a psyop. I think Michigan, and New Mexico, and a couple other states were caught cheating. So again, I don't believe any of this stuff.
Epstein won it twice.
There you go. So that was a payoff to him. There you go. It was a payoff to him.
Yeah.
And by the way, who's going to say they're going to cheat? What do you think? The FBI is going to go in there? That's Obama's FBI. They're not going to do anything.
We're living in crazy times. Gary, you came, you saw, you dropped the hammer of the gods. It was an honor and a privilege. As always, we got to get you on. We got to get you on more often. You have an open door. Just let us know. We'll make sure Mark makes it happen quicker than last time.
If you're ever in Miami, come by.
Dude, don't tempt me with a good time, bro. I'll get on a plane right now. I'll 304 that and bring 617 over here.
You're already a numerologist, brother.
Yeah, we'll do it. All right, guys. Hey, listen, again, if you're in Mississippi and you want to see quality comedy, could you try to maybe grab a ticket to my show? We got 2 shows. We're doing a Q&A. We're doing stand-up, then a Q&A. Grab those things. And Baton Rouge after that. And then the American Comedy Company in San Diego, one of my favorite cities to perform in. That's all happening. I will let you know when I'm filming a special. I've been dragging the ball. I think I'm going to maybe go tomorrow night, go look around, or Friday night, check out a couple venues. And then that's it. Again, stay on. We got some wonderful affiliates for you. All the affiliates are things I think you need to understand. We're about to add a law firm that can help you with your business and some of your personal stuff. They don't do crime, but they do everything. They don't do criminal court, but they do everything else for a very low price. Go check that out, and then hang out and listen to some sneak peeks of some of my other podcasts, all available here for you now. So enjoy that. Go to samtripoli.com for all that stuff, and we will talk to you soon. Gary, one more time, where can they find you?
Twitter, it's GG. It's FindGG33. On TikTok, yes, it's a Chinese app, but again, I got like 500,000 followers on there. So, if you use TikTok, use 2 phones. Have a burner phone.
I have that too, bro.
Exactly. So it doesn't really matter. On TikTok, it's GG33 Academy. Again, we're almost at like 300, 400 million views. And on IG, it is Matrix Prime /_. So remember, I'm the one with a lot of followers. There's people who pretend to be me. And I want you guys to understand something. I will never go in your DMs and solicit you to give you a reading or give you anything like that. If someone does that, that's a fraud, okay? I got my bag. I got mine. I don't solicit people for money. That's what frauds do. So I want people to know, if you're trying to reach out to me, I got 3 main websites. Number 1, GG33 classes. That's where you can go in, get a reading from my students. Again, to talk to me, it's expensive. I've trained about 20 people. They'll do it for a much cheaper price. Go to them. If you want to join GG33 Academy, that's basically my mid-range school. Basically $98 a month. You learn how to do this stuff. It's very cheap. It's not my main course. And if you actually want to learn real numerology, I can't just sell you a course. You got to pass the interview. You got to meet some certain qualifications. If you're woke, don't even try. If you're a liberal, I don't want to talk to you. I don't care about your money. Keep it. Okay? It's that simple. So, one of the most beautiful things in life is to do it like Frank Sinatra, my way. Nothing more beautiful than that, my friend.
Yep, I'm with you, buddy. All right, guys, we love you. Enjoy these sneak peeks.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim. Boy, they're really fucking over RFK Jr.
Yeah,
right? You shared that. So Crystal Ball, she's on that show Breaking Points with that other guy.
So they all came from the Hill, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So they were part of the group that was in the Hill, and then they were replaced with Kim Iverson, and then Kim Iverson was replaced by the white guy with blonde hair and the black chick. I think that's who's on there now, right? So these guys were before that. They've gone off on their own. They've been on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, they've been all over.
And like, she's super, like, there's times that they're on the right side of stuff, but there's also times that they 100%, and it's her, not him. He's more right. I agree with him a lot. But she is 100% wrong on a lot of things, and I feel like this is one of them.
And I'm not even sure she's wrong about it as much as she got told to do something here.
You think?
I have a strong feeling that this is a systematic thing to kind of kneecap him. Because the way she does this hit and run questioning, this is one of my real pet peeves for journalists and people who interview others, is when they ask questions and then let the person respond. And then when the person responds, they're like, you know what? I don't have all the data in front of me, so we got to move on,
Yeah.
I hated that about Jon Stewart.
Yeah,
Jon Stewart would
do
be
that
like,
all
I'm
the
just
time.
a comedian. What do I know? Whenever it got really hot.
I just follow puppets.
Yeah, exactly. And I hated that. And she kind of does the equivalent of that here for her.
So let me ask you about vaccines. This is an
Even the
area
way she
where
brings
you and
it
I
up.
have significant differences. And, just to level with you on this, like, a lot of what you say I really respond to. I think you're a very genuine person. But the across the board,
here's the
whether you want to call it vaccine skepticism or anti-vax advocacy, which has been a central part of what you've been up to for the past number of years. For me personally, it's an issue, and it's a real sort of red line. And I know I'm not alone in that, especially running in a Democratic primary. There are going to be other millions of people like me who have similar concerns. So how do you win them over? What's your message to people who think like I do?
Well, but just tell me where you think I got
Stop. That's what's going to hurt him, is that voice.
Oh, I texted you that like last week.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
I wish
that's
his
what's
voice-
gonna hurt.
yeah.
It's uncomfortable to listen to.
It sounds like he's in pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently it's just it's a thing where he has spasms of his vocal fold,
Yeah,
like the
of
vocal
course.
cords. They're
Of course.
spasming in his, but it's
But by the way, in a weird way, knowing his family's history, do you think that saves him?
maybe from being too threatening to.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah,
maybe.
it allows him to say stuff, and they're like, nobody was gonna listen to that.
It's funny because I like him.
No, I like
I
him.
Like
get it
for
wrong,
somebody on that side.
He reminds me very much in a weird way of me and my arguments with almost all the women in my life about vaccines.
For somebody on the blue side, though, he's okay for me. Like,
You draw a correlation between the rise of things like autism and the introduction of vaccines when there isn't hard scientific evidence tying those things together.
How do you know? Let me ask you this. How do you know there's not a hard scientific evidence?
Well, because the one major study that purported to show that
and sorry, everybody, we had to speed this up.
is retracted.
Oh, you want me to?
No, that's
And
not
the
what
scientists
she's
who
saying
conducted
is not true.
Well, he says that. I mean,
had to was
What you're doing now,
basically
Crystal,
fraudulently created. Listen,
No, no, no.
Hold on.
You're right.
and she's doing this thing. She asks questions, doesn't let him respond.
No, I don't want to get in a debate with you about this because you
See?
spent your life pulling out this study. Now, I will tell you. Let me just tell you.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Let me just tell you.
I'm not.
I've listened to hours of interviews with you with an open mind, and I'm not persuaded. Now, maybe I'm wrong. That's possible. I'll leave it out there. People can watch
Stop.
it.
Listen to me. This is what makes women amazing, and what also makes women just dangerous is they get emotionally attached to a narrative because they think it's helping, because they look at women are so in tune with their bodies, right? Because let's face it, they go through a physical change that men don't. And from a very early age, they're very in tune with their body. Like women have zero problems with going to the doctor for anything, where men are like, I'm just gonna work through this. Like with jujitsu right now, right? My shoulders hurt, my legs are dead. I have dead legs. You know what I'm like? Just get through it. Just get through it. But a lot of women, and not all women, and when I talk about, I'm not talking about all the good ones, or I don't even think I don't think Crystal as a woman is a bad thing, and I don't think she's being told to say something. I think she generally...
I might.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay. I could
Maybe.
be wrong, because I just know a lot of people like her that aren't on anybody's tip that say the exact same
There's
thing.
just something about the way she's doing it, though.
She is regurgitating the exact lines that they say, because what they've read is an article saying it's been disproven. It's been the whole study has been thrown out. That all they have to do is write that, and because we're loving people and we're trusting people, because we wouldn't write something that's false, right?
Yeah.
We believe this person wouldn't write something that's false. And we've discussed on Tinfoil Hat. They don't care. There's no blowback from lying in an article. None.
And there are no rules when you're on that side, when you have those goals.
There's no
rules.
consequences. So go on.
Megyn Kelly did a phenomenal interview with you that went through all these claims piece by piece by piece. I really encourage people to watch that whole exchange because we won't be able to do it justice here in the 5 minutes we have left. But there are going to be people like me who aren't persuaded and who see this as an issue. And the fact that it's been such a central part of your advocacy means I can't just sort of put it to the side and say, I'll just ignore, this piece that's been really important to you in your life. So you're running in a Democratic primary. You have a lot of people who feel even more strongly than me who think that, Dr. Fauci is a hero and all of these things. How are you going to persuade them? How are you going to reach them? And what
Stop. How can you be on a newscast and you're an indie, like this show's somewhat indie, right?
Yeah, it's meant to be. Yeah, although they do it just like a big news show. Yeah.
Which is fine.
It's like the Morning Joe of YouTube. Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. Like, dude, there's so many. We have people on now all the time that they're making docs that are so shiny.
Oh, they're slick. Yeah,
they're so good. They're like, wow, I love that. That's fine. That's fine. But how can you be in a position with is that her name, Crystal Ball?
Crystal Ball, yeah.
I mean, how can you be named Crystal Ball and not see what's happening here?
Dude, that's part of the reason I think it might be like a whole setup, because Crystal Ball is really her name.
Yeah, and it's just like there's so much data out there that is telling you that Fauci is not here, and for you to give any lip service to that destroys all your credit. Now, Dave Smith came out and talked about this as well, and he thinks this is going to haunt her for the rest of her career.
It should. Good.
What she's saying. So keep going.
message to them?
Well, first of all, I'm not leading with, my opinions about vaccines. What I say to people is show me where I got it wrong. Show me where I got my science wrong. I've written books about this. I wrote a book about the link between thimerosal and autism that has, I think, 450 distilled scientific studies that confirm and validate that hypothesis, and 1,400 references. And if I got something wrong, show me where it is.
But I think people have shown you where things are wrong, but you
no,
don't want to hear
they
it. Because
haven't.
I've seen, numerous fact checks. Dr. Vinay Prasad, who we, really respect on the COVID vaccine. He went through your interview with All In. He did a fact check. I mean, it's not.
And then I
people
did
have
a fact check of Vinay, and you should read that.
I will take a look at it, but I don't think that it's fair to say nobody has ever pointed out anything that's been wrong.
Well, here's what
Stop. Go back.
Okay.
This is the most nope, not that much, just a tiny, tiny bit to her face. Watch
I will take a
keep it going.
look at it, but I don't think that it's fair to say nobody has ever pointed out anything that's been wrong.
Well,
stop. Did you see
I
that?
see what you're talking
Did you see that face?
This right here.
Yes, that face is this. Now I'm on your side. That she is doing the work of others.
Yeah.
That face is a poker face. That's like a swarmy smile look. The many blinkings means I don't actually believe what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm on your side now. Like that to me is snarky.
For sure. Yeah.
It's snarky. And what she's doing is a giant disservice. And I don't know if we could talk about this on YouTube, all this stuff.
We'll find out. They've been more liberal with us lately. We'll see. They've been showing us the fewer people, but they've been more lenient with the monetization.
I just don't get it. I don't get you guys. I don't get what we have to do. I mean, we play by the rules. I mean, dude, I look back like a month ago, we're getting like 50% more views. And now, like, what do we do? I mean, like, we play by the rules
and all
here.
I hear from people is like, dude, I'm not getting the alerts, So if, I don't know. You subscribe,
What you should do, man, is go look at samtripoli.com and see if a new video's up. If you have to watch on YouTube, I get it.
Hit the bell icon, though. That'll, for some of you, might get an alert if you do
Just
that.
always go to samtripoli.com. When you see a new episode up every Monday.
Yeah, we're moving to Monday.
We're moving the Monday drops. Every Monday. For most of the time, if not all the time, unless we're not able to do a podcast, there will be a new episode every Monday. What time would you say?
It's always in the morning.
So by let's say 10 a.m.
That'll be the audio. Well, audio usually goes up like 5 a.m. West Coast, like 8 a.m. East Coast. Then the video's a little bit later.
Keep going.
All right.
Well, here's what people complain about what I say. And again, I'm not leading on this issue, so people can either take it or leave it. But if you want to, what you just said about me, that I'm sort of hard-headed and stubborn and just won't give in, you're wrong about that. If somebody shows me where I'm wrong, I'm going to correct it. And, we have probably the most robust fact-checking operation now in North America. I have 350 PhD scientists and MD physicians on, CHD's advisory board, including until recently, Luc Montagnier won the Nobel Prize for discovering the HIV virus.
What's his incentive for bullshitting any of this? I just don't. He has no incentive.
It's it's like, and I love Joe Rogan, but he said that about conspiracy theorists too. It's like these people, they're putting out this information back in the day, and back when when Joe was more on the not necessarily on the other side, but more along this of like why would the mainstream media lie and all that stuff, right? So why
would a guy who's got that last name, Kennedy, why would he wade into these waters unless he really believes?
Well, I mean, there were times where he was anti-vax and he was pro climate change, But it's like when I go to Rogan, like I look at what Rogan has gotten data. Data says, hey, man, this is what's really going on. You have to allow people a little bit of room to change their mind. And I've said this about Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk isn't 100% pure. You'll never find anybody that high up that is. It's just the way it is. Stop waiting for knights in shining armor. You have to be honest. So for him, it's like, what do you get out of this? But what does the other side get out of this? What does Crystal Ball get out of this?
I think she gets a career.
She has a career. Advertisers want to advertise with her, right? Like, she literally said, by you talking about this won't sit well with the party that you're running for. So why would he do it?
Exactly. Unless he believed it. Unless he had good evidence. Anyway, it ends, I mean, it's a long video. It ends with her saying, like, I just don't want to get bogged down into this. You know, we'll just take
You brought it up.
We'll take your information and put it in the notes.
No, you brought it up.
And they really, I mean, they really kind of sideswipe him here. I call that hit and run journalism, where you just kind of throw questions at a guy and don't give him a chance to have a proper answer. Shameful. Shame on you, Crystal Ball. That's pathetic. You've embarrassed yourself.
And here's a quick sneak peek of Conspiracy Social Club. Enjoy. Well, Miller Lite has decided to say, and this is Luke Rudowski's tweet, to say, hold my beer. And so they've decided to see if they could maybe not outwoke Anheuser-Busch, but just hang there with them at the bar. So this is a campaign that just came out. This is starring one of the girls from Broad City, who is very funny. The show was successful, I think. And she also has, I know her from also Sesame Street. She appeared on Sesame Street a couple times. Of course, I have young children. Used to watch Sesame Street all the time with them. But here is their new campaign that Miller Lite thought's going to help them sell a bunch of beer. So here we go.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis. Wow. Look at this wild. It's time beer made it up to women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their but the whole beer industry's Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this and buying it back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers. Literally, good How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad into compost. Then we feed compost to worms. Push out beautiful fertilizer. That good helps farmers grow quality hops, which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good
But there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good too. Oh. So here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
Okay, stop this. Stop. Before we're going to play, does Bryan think this is bad? Or is Bryan somehow figuring out how this is good? So here we go. 3, 2. I say Bryan's going to figure out a way to think this is kind of creative and fuck. Nope. Okay.
I don't buy it. I also think so men didn't invent beer. Huh?
Yeah, it's so hilarious.
It's adorable. It's exactly, so I equate this with every time I see a fucking new action show with a woman who's an assassin who beats up dudes with her bare hands.
How about the Punisher or the Enforcer, whatever that is, with Queen Latifah, who is well into her 50s and she's fighting crime.
It's great. It's hilarious. So it's women taking on these traditional male roles. And I don't mind women saying, "Hey, this is, I am woman, hear me roar." If you want to make a video like
Bryan,
that,
now
my problem
this
is I don't
where
buy it.
Finally,
I don't buy it.
The real
that girl,
Bryan
that
came
woman.
out. Yeah,
you see her special on Amazon? Did you see her special?
No,
they gave her a special.
Well, I don't.
I don't want to be mean, but
But it doesn't matter. I don't get mad at her. I get mad at.
I don't either. I don't have anything against her. I don't. But I mean, what I'm saying is that this is a talented lady. But what Amazon did was they gave her a special way before she was ready. This is not somebody who was doing enough stand-up. Right. I can speak on this.
Yeah.
There are women out there that'll crush a room.
Yeah.
Okay. And they put in their years because that's what it takes. They gave that woman an hour on Amazon.
Yep.
And
that's gonna get clipped.
And I watched
But
it didn't go so well.
But that's not my issue.
I'm not putting her down. What I'm saying is that these big organizations are shoehorning certain demographics into positions where they're not ready yet.
Yes.
I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the in this case. I'm not saying women can't be as funny as men. I'm not
let's
saying
even get
I'm saying
to.
that
I mean, obviously,
but this is
personally,
this is
who
basically
cares, right?
This is basically making it so men are shitheads.
Yes.
And so I won't be drinking Miller Lite because I don't like the spirit.
You're going to be down to, you know who's never going to let you down? Sam Adams.
Okay, so this is the thing. My father only drinks Coors Light. He doesn't drink water. He just drinks Coors Light.
Yeah.
Respect.
And there is a shortage in rural Virginia right now.
Because no one's drinking Bud Light.
No one's drinking Bud Light. So now nobody's drinking Miller Lite. So Coors is really the only option.
Has this messed up? Has this messed with Miller too?
I mean, This
just came out.
Comes out. Yeah,
this just came out.
Miller.
But let's and by the way, this was them like let's do some woke shit, but let's not like torpedo ourselves and commit seppuku. But here's the thing.
I like that at least it's women. It's not trans. It's like they're pro
what's
women.
interesting about this, Brian, is the narrative of this thing is that women are tired of being treated like sex objects. So what they're saying is it is bad when a man pays women to wear bikinis and push beer, but society says it is great when men pay women to get naked and finger blast themselves on OnlyFans. Like, what world are we? What dimension is this commercial from? Not this dimension where I can tell the hue of a woman's beehole based on her Instagram pictures, okay? The notion, you know who doesn't like being treated like sex objects? Unfuckable women. That's who it is. Because they can't. Nobody wants to treat them like sex. They have to earn everything they have. So this notion that these women are somehow being treated like crap. Women, you know what's so funny, Brian? During the pandemic when we were all locked down, guess who wasn't locked down? Hot chicks on fucking yachts. That's who wasn't locked down. I was like staying at home with my kids and I'm watching these chicks like just living that best life. Like hot chicks in bikinis everywhere, okay? But you're telling me this is degrading? Is that what you're telling me?
Listen,
in what dimension?
All you got to say is this, and Bill Burr said it beautifully. You don't know anybody who plays in the WNBA, but the Kardashians who basically get all the plastic surgery to accentuate their
tits
and ass and sell cream and get their lips pumped up, and they look like as they try to look as much like a fuck doll as possible. They're making billions of dollars.
This is from a different time.
Whenever you're having this, it's just the rise of the new Puritans. God bless. And
you're totally right about the left.
It just
Puritans.
creates a whole nother backlash. That now women who are selling their tits and ass are probably doing this, because it's like. It's
just unbelievable to me that like we live in this era where everything is a sex object. Unless you can't be a sex object. Then you dye your hair blue and you leave pro-choice rallies. That's what you do, okay? Yeah. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
There were ancient tablets uncovered dated to 8000 BC showing the original brewers of beer were women. The Sumerians even had a goddess of beer called Ninkasi.
All right, guys, real quick before we're done, we want to tell you about all of our affiliates. It's a great way to support the show. As you know, fiat money is chaos. Okay, fractional reserve banking, dangerous. The best way to get out of it is precious metals, in particular, silver and gold. And that's why we're working at Wise Wolf, okay? Wise Wolf, silver and gold. Just go to samtripoli.com or samtripoli.gold and you could join. And he's hooking you up. They got great that you can either buy single time or you can sign up for their program where you can buy up to $500 a month. I'm doing it. I hope you can too. We also have everybody at Eagle Research. That's right. Eagle Research, AquaCure Mobile, Model AC50 brown gas, hydrogen brown gas. The guy who makes it says it's secure. People are using it. Check it out. Just go there, use the promo code tinfoil hat, 3 words, and get a discount. Go back to the main page, Sam Tripoli. You will get, you get a discount with the promo code tinfoil. And then our good friends over at Haley Ray CrystalShop.com. Go to the promo code is Swarm15. Get 15% off all your crystals, all your quartz, all you name it. What do we got here? Look at all this stuff. All this stuff. All the best. You can do it right there. It's all part of the best crystal shop on the internet. Jewels, bracelets, clusters, you name it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Candles, you name it, you got it. Swarm 15. Thank you for supporting the show. We love you. And thank you so much for your support.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind. Tinfoil hat, tinfoil hat, tinfoil hat.